Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
You made it. It's Wednesday. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. We are refreshed on a Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
I guess we could say that. Karl sitting on the other side of the double pane glass. We got a good show for you today.
Every day. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Can you see me?
Yeah, man. I walked in.
Camoed out. You're not.
I walked in the Duck Dynasty. What's going on, man? What you doing?
Take a sip of my tea. It's a rodeo day, man.
Oh, it is.
Looking Western. Well, I look like I'm going to go. This is the best I can do. That's all I can say.
How thick is that shirt?
It's actually made for.
Is it for like hunting?
It's a dove hunting shirt.
So it's it's some warmth.
Well, no, not really. It's more made to. It's actually pretty light. It's made for when you're walking through mesquite and cactuses. That it doesn't snag on the shirt. It's a snag-free.
Oh, damn!
There's a purpose behind this.
I don't think that's a cheap shirt.
No, it wasn't. I mean, that's.
We don't have to get into actually how much it is, but I don't think it's cheap.
You buy hunting stuff and you use it for the rest of your life because you only use it, a couple times a year.
Did you even do any dove hunting this year? I know you went. I know you slaughtered a pig.
Yeah, I took out
I know you took out a pig.
And
but any dove?
I went early in the season and there were none.
So you're just walking around?
At least where I went. I like dove hunting, but if I have to have the promise of birds, or John Feinstein wrote a book about golf called A Good Walk Spoiled.
Okay.
And that can define it. And sometimes if you're out, I mean, it's a lovely walk when you're dove hunting, but it's a lot of work if there's nothing there. It is walking in a field.
So the person that's ignorant to dove hunting like myself, so do you, like, again, I'm ignorant to, do you have that machine, the little?
No, you don't have to call doves.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a turkey.
So
the dove's just there.
See, I don't want to go there. I only wanted to go to blow on the little horn.
Turkey hunting that's tough, man. At least it's supposed to be tough. Now down here where
why
I
is
live,
turkey hunting?
Because they're
tough?
Smart. Turkeys are smart.
Turkeys are smart. Their brain is the size of a walnut.
They know their environment. Turkeys are tough.
So they hear anything, they bail.
Yeah, they know. But for the most part, but down around here, I see turkeys all the time. I don't hunt them, but because we encroaching on previously virgin lands where I live, I see turkeys all the time.
Really?
They're not that scary around here. Now, you head into the southeast and they're in that thicket. They're hard to find. You got to be a legit hunter and to be able to call them and do all that.
We have a neighborhood turkey.
Yeah.
We have a neighborhood turkey. He just walks around chilling.
Yeah. So
he used to have a wife. He used to have some kids. The cats ate all his kids. Mm-hmm. Somebody got his wife. Now he's solo. He's single. And he just walks around everybody's yard, every neighborhood. And nobody bothers him. We let him cross the street. And I'm in the middle of the city. You know what I mean? It's just weird to see him. It's not a regular turkey. I'm going to take a picture of him one day.
It's not a regular turkey.
I'm going to take a picture of him one day. And I want you to tell me what kind of turkey it is. It's a weird looking turkey. Like he don't have, maybe it's not even a turkey because he don't have that neck thing. What is that neck thing?
Well, it sounds like a female turkey. Male turkey has the wobble.
Oh, then maybe the woman is single.
Yeah, I think it's a female.
Maybe she's widowed.
Does it ever walk around with a fan tail?
No. See, that's what I'm saying.
You got a female. And it could be. It could be a young peacock.
I don't know what it is. Because I told y'all the story. We had a neighborhood, a family neighborhood that was doing weird stuff to animals.
Oh, that was y'all's neighborhood?
Yes.
That made the news?
Yes.
Oh, that'll make the neighborhood.
They were sacrificing animals and stuff, and the two turkeys got away.
The survivors?
Yeah, they were the survivors, and we loved them. They had babies, and the babies were following around. It was cool because, you look on your Facebook page and you see family, and you look on your neighborhood page and it's like family sacrificing animals. And it's around the corner from you. You're like, dude, I gotta move before my house is worth $13. Let me get the hell out of here. But yeah, so I guess this is she. I'm gonna take a picture of her one day so you can tell me what she is.
When was the last time you saw the mate to this turkey. It wouldn't
It's
have
been
right
about a couple months.
Right around Thanksgiving.
You know what? I don't know when, but yeah, I was like, there were 2 peas in pot always together, and then all of a sudden one of them gone. It was sad. We were sad. Well, I was more sad when because the babies were cute, and then one by one they just started dropping off. Like, oh, they had 6, and then Anna be like, babe, there's only 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh my God,
it's like
2.
a discovery festival.
Yeah, like
special.
Damn cats, put your cats in the house.
I got here this morning, speaking of cats, and there was a cat running on somebody's car standing. I hate cat footprints on my car.
Oh, I always see the cat footprint. They're looking for that heat.
Yes.
They're looking for that warmth.
I hate that.
Outside cats keep the rats away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Feral cats ain't all they're cracked up to be, though.
Just put your cats in the crib.
So we're going to get into some sports today, we promise.
Now,
yesterday, we talked a little bit about James Harden. It felt like he had something to say. It was moderated. It was tempered, but he did have something to say.
You called it, and I'm like, nah, James doesn't talk. But James, like, something went wrong at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought and it's weird, man, because James and Chris Paul were boys, and then it gets weird. You know, James and Westbrook boys, then it gets weird. Now KD, James, Kyrie. Because at first, when James first got there, he tweeted, "Oh, scary hours. It's going to be on."
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, well, Philly was always my first choice. And he rings the bell last night.
And I don't know, some sort of
the jacket was fly. The jacket was fly, Rob.
No, it wasn't.
The jacket was fly, Rob.
Finished. It wasn't finished. It didn't look
and
like
you know
it was
what?
done.
You know why you should like it? Because you could pull it off. You're 6'4".
I'm a fashion guy like you. You can tell by my
You are. No. You like to get fly.
Well, I do. That one I did not like. It was too rough. It wasn't done. It looked like there's some just basic seams.
No, it does look like
to be complete there.
Whoever the designer was like, this is it. I'm gonna cut up this London fog jacket. I'm gonna cut the sleeves off. Then I'm gonna put a shirt underneath it. Then I'm gonna put a belt buckle on the back.
And maybe
and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna charge $6,500 for it, and James Harden will buy it.
Harden rolled out there, swung with the bell, and some sort of Parisian catwalk coat.
That jacket was fly, Melvin. Forget you.
No,
then they get beat by 48.
then they roll out and get smoked. But it was the worst home court loss by a playoff contender at this point in the season in history, in NBA history.
Dude, it was like your brother learning how to play 2K.
Woo.
And you've been playing for 3 years and you just smoke them by. It was like a bad game of 2K that you like. If that would have been a game of 2K, somebody would have hit reset.
It would have been.
Like, or quit.
I'd throw my controller down. I'm out.
Karl 2.222 has left the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave the game, bro.
We'll level up a bit. It was a good night for basketball all around. We'll look at the league. Super Bowl viewership numbers are in, and it was a rousing success.
Dude,
now, the most
crazy.
The cities that dialed in are not surprising. Certainly Cincinnati was very much involved, and the Ram fan in Southern California was certainly very much involved.
Yeah.
But one other city led the pack in viewership.
That's so weird.
It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's sad all at the same time. At 7:45, we'll look at that.
Someone said the jacket matched the game. Horrible.
It kinda did.
Dude, I'm always on my own. You know what? I'm gonna just start being quiet. No one ever agrees with me, ever.
I think we can agree that it was a worthy attempt by Harden, but it didn't work. It just didn't fit the situation or him. It didn't look done.
Yeah.
Professional athletes can get away with fashion risks a lot better than literally anybody else.
I appreciate this.
I get it.
I do. And I think, Rudy, you'd have had it on. I think you'd have seen that and put it on. I think you would have. And that's not degrading.
Well, the thing is that 5'9".
Well, there's that.
Rudy likes Crocs. So
Rudy does not like Crocs.
I do want a pair. I've heard they're super comfortable. But the thing about a long jacket like that at 5'8", it doesn't play well at 5'8" in a stomach.
Well,
you see, it's got to be, when you wear stuff like that, it's got to lay on you. You see, that's the key to jackets. If the jacket doesn't lay down on you, it looks bad. I think we're going to have to start doing a fashion segment on this show.
I think we might have
I think we're on to something.
Because you come to it from a point of, I mean, you have a fashion
Dude,
professional
my wife
in
is
your house.
She's like, and she'll hit me with, That's what you're wearing? And it screws up my night. You know what I mean? Like, it just ruined your night because you're like, yo, all right, I'm putting this. This is what I'm wearing. And I walk in and she's like, that shirt again? And like, I don't have no clothes. I don't have any clothes. So yes, this is my go-to shirt. Let it be. Like, we both know that I wear this shirt often.
I like it. I look good in it.
Damn.
But you do.
And then the night is ruined. Then I'm like, dude, you know what? I don't want to go.
Well, have you ever gone back through your pictures and all the good nights or you're in the same stuff?
Dude, well, see now, because she's like, well, you're a public figure, so you took a picture in that shirt already. So we're not posting tonight. This is the life I live in. I'm 44. So can you imagine 20-something-year-old?
I'm kind of envious of that. Not that my wife gave up a long time.
She's just like, I married you. This is who you are.
She used to try.
Yeah. My wife's like, we can't post tonight because we've posted in you and your favorite shirt 2 times already.
Well, I worked my.
That is sad.
Well, I worked my entire working career was an attempt to exit the dress up world.
Thank you.
I didn't want to live in that world. I didn't want to have to wake up every day and put on a tie and a jacket and go to the dry cleaner I didn't want to have to do that. So I worked for 20 years to not have to do that. So because of that, I look like I've been recently retired or released from prison most of the time.
Dude, I stay in trouble.
So do I.
My wife's in fashion, so it's a big thing.
At 8 o'clock. Pivot quickly.
Oh, my sweatsuits. Dude, one listener, we're going to move on. So we get to Cali, right? Boom. I post in my Navy. I got 3 sweatsuits, all 3 of them from Walmart. 16 for the top, 16 for the bottom. I'm out the door, $36.
That's why we do what we do.
So I have 3 of them.
So we can wear this stuff.
And I didn't realize how much I was wearing them. So I get to LA, I post in the navy blue one, right? Boom. The next day I post in my teal one. Boom. One of our smart ass listeners like, Rudy, I could bet money which sweatsuit's coming up next. I almost blocked his ass. First I was gonna cuss him out, then I was gonna block his ass. He said, Rudy, I can almost bet what sweatsuit is next.
Here comes white.
He actually put that in my comments. And then of course, my wife reads all my comments, because if she don't read your comments, she don't really love you. So she read my comments. She's like, did you see your listener say that you knew what sweatsuit was coming up? I was like, babe, okay. And so you notice it was the navy blue, the teal, and then the white one. I had to skip a day. I had to skip the white. I didn't go the white on Wednesday. I put the white on.
Maybe you should start to mix and match. Maybe you should start going up and down and sideways.
It was so disrespectful. First of all, it was so true. I laughed. I died laughing. And then I was like, should I block him? Should I delete this comment?
This is a man that's looking out for you.
Dude, and then, of course, on cue, my wife and I FaceTime, because we FaceTime every day in LA. Did you see that comment from your listener? Everybody knows what your rotation of your sweatsuits. 44, man.
We all have our first in rotation, though.
I can't believe he said that. He almost got blocked, but it was funny.
He speaks the truth. You don't notice when you're around somebody all the time.
See, you got a good rotation though, Rob. You don't really re-up. I never really see you in the same stuff twice.
I don't know.
If I do, it's in between weeks. It's like weeks in between.
Sometimes I have theme weeks.
Oh, you have a thing.
Like,
you go,
like
well, it's like
week,
during the football season, like you were aggied out.
Yeah,
like,
this week. And certainly every Friday is game day. Every Monday is Cowboy day.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But some weeks I'm like, I'm not wearing nothing but half zips this week. I'm just going to see. I'm going to go deep into the closet.
I'm going to go shopping this week, because I can't have this. I can't. We're trying to go to the top on R&R, and I got 3 outfits.
We were on ESPN National yesterday.
Yeah, they were. Shout out to SA Sports Star. That was a big deal.
For those of y'all that missed, let's pat ourselves on the back real quick. We owe you some headlines. Karl got a stack. He's about to fire off here. Yesterday, Mike Greenberg, they used our conversation, and I love the way Rudy puts this. We don't interview people, we converse with people.
Yes.
And Jason and Joe had a spectacular conversation with them at Smith last week. One that was newsworthy of the day. One where I've never had an interview with the likes of Emmett or the same, who at one point goes, and another thing.
Right.
You never get that. And I know for listeners, you don't realize the dynamics of what a conversation/interview is.
Mhm.
But normally it's like a cross-examination. It's like you're a lawyer and they are a defendant, and they are going to withhold every bit of evidence they possibly can. They're only going to answer the question and nothing more. And when you get a guy like him who goes, oh, and one more thing, I got another story for you to prove my point. You turn on the lights and you just let it glow, because that is a rare act. And we got lucky and got it.
Because I'm sitting there recording and he's telling the story. So I caught the story like 30 seconds in. I was like, yo, he's telling the story. So I start recording. And then he's like, and so I stop. And then he goes, oh, and I'll give you one more. And I'm like, boom. So I had to hit record again. And he starts talking about San Francisco and Jimmy Johnson and how Jimmy's walking the field. It was great. He starts sweating. And then he's like, by the way, this is so good. Y'all come to the party tonight.
And can we give some love to Karl and James and all the production staff, Edwin, for some of the hot videos that came out of that?
They were coming in hot.
Looked good. It absolutely was spectacular. Again, patting ourselves on the back.
As we should.
Hey, we're going to talk some NBA in a bit. James Harden's arrival in Philadelphia did not help the team. They go down in flames. Giannis is back, and he looked like an 8th grader playing 5th graders last night against the Pacers. The NBA rounding into form. We'll talk about it. Super Bowl viewership exceeds expectations, especially in one Midwest town where they were all rooting for somebody that left. We'll talk about all that. But first, let's get you the headlines. Karl's got them. It's the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Americans go 0 for 5 in shootout and fall to Slovakia in men's Olympic hockey quarterfinals. Slovakia stunned Team USA in their Olympic men's ice hockey quarterfinal, tying the game in the final minute of regulation and then eliminating the tournament's top seed in a shootout on Wednesday in Beijing. The U.S. men's ice hockey team leaves Beijing without a medal, making this 3 straight Olympics without one. Their last Winter Games hardware was the silver medal they won in Vancouver in 2010. They have not won the gold since the Miracle on Ice of 1980.
Rob, you called. We were talking about this before the show. I didn't know we were the 1 seed.
Yeah, we were the top-rated seed.
Didn't know that, whatever that means.
So men's hockey, men's soccer.
You hate them all?
Well, no, it's not like that I expect to be good, but we should at least be competitive.
Should be losing in the finals, right?
Yes. I mean, to go medalist 3 consecutive.
Yeah, we shouldn't be. At least medal. Give me a bronze.
Yeah, you get what you tolerate.
Amen to that.
If you tolerate average.
That's in life.
Yes. You get what you tolerate. And I guess we're willing to tolerate this. We're not going to spend any extra dimes.
See, if this was basketball, we'd be leading with it.
It would be a national tragedy.
Like Pop goes down.
Yes, it would be.
As the game passed him.
It would be not only headlines in the sports section, it would be headlines in the news section if the U.S. lost in basketball. But in hockey, it seems almost shameful.
In hockey, it's like, oh, okay, we lost in hockey. Damn, that sucks.
I'm trying to find something to motivate me for these Olympics.
Good luck.
You know, I tried to get last.
Good luck with that.
Let's move on. Moving on.
I actually have a pop quiz. Can anybody name an American hockey player?
None.
No, I can't.
No, exactly, Karl. Exactly.
Don't do that. Let me think.
I don't know if Sidney Crosby's American.
No, he's not. He's Canadian.
Yeah.
The black guy that was dating Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, Vander Kane. Wait, no, that's not
Satan?
who it was.
Yeah, that's something like that. He was dating Lindsey Vonn.
Is he
black
American?
Guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe he's American.
He might not be.
I don't see what I'm saying.
He might not be.
Just because he's black doesn't
don't
mean
mean he's American. You know what? Sorry. My bad. He might be Canadian. My bad, brother.
Yeah. In today's edition, well, this isn't good.
Does Canada have black folks?
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Drake?
Sorry, Karl.
Yeah.
Drake.
Matt Harvey, and now we go to something a bit darker. Matt Harvey, CJ Cron, among 4 MLB players to testify. They got oxycodone from former Los Angeles Angels staffer Eric Kay. The trial to determine whether Eric Kay was responsible for the death of Tyler Skaggs turned into a larger glimpse into the brazen drug use of the LA Angels clubhouse, as 4 former players testified Tuesday about their own opioid histories. Pitchers Matt Harvey, Mike Morin, Cam Bedrosian, and first baseman C.J. Cron all took the stand and described bits and pieces of recreational drug use allegedly going on around the Angels 3 years ago when they played for the team. Each was with the Angels for some point in 2017 to 2019. The year's federal prosecutors say Eric K. obtained drugs for players. K faces drug distribution and drug conspiracy charges. Prosecutors rested their case to finish the most dramatic day of the weekend trial, which included testimony from Skaggs' widow about the last time she saw her husband and the last text she received from him the night before he was found dead in a suburban Dallas hotel room.
So, Rob, if somebody uses Oxy, what is Oxy for? Pain? What is Oxy for?
It's a pain.
It's a pain? Okay.
That's why it was initially made, but it's just super intense.
I guess, and help me if I'm being insensitive, and you can stop me. Are we someone choosing to? I'm responsible for you. If I I have a product, you want it, I give it to you. I'm responsible for you dying.
Kinda.
If you're dealing illegal drugs, I'm pretty sure.
Only because if this is somebody under 18.
No, sorry.
No? Okay. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm just like, if I'm 40-year-old man and I'm like, Karl, give me the Oxy. I need it. Give me the Oxy. And you give it to me like, ain't that on me?
I believe in this case, the Oxy was laced with fentanyl.
Oh,
I think that's right. I don't know all the notes, but I'm pretty sure that was an accusation.
You know what? That's the assumption. Whenever you hear of an overdose, that it was oxycodone. Which, if it was just Oxy, most of these guys aren't going to OD. It's the fentanyl that's been found in these black markets that's killing them. But the fact is, let's get to the Angels dugout locker room was like the North Dallas 40 movie in the 70s. It was like the Cowboys White House in the 90s. Right. I mean, they had a death just like the Cowboys had a death with Mark II and I. Heroin then and ecstasy. He died just like a Cowboy player would have, living that kind of life. The Angels locker room was an absolute drug den. It was from the accounts we heard yesterday. Everybody was doing not just weed, not just the greenies like we know baseball guys have done forever. This is hardcore heroin use. Okay.
And that fentanyl, they throwing away the key for that stuff.
Well, yeah,
that stuff is like a little pinky worth of it kill
not
you.
A pinky, a grain. I saw a news story yesterday. They were talking about they had a sheriff's office here in the state of Texas had confiscated 2 pounds of fentanyl, which would make 1 million pills.
1 million?
1 million. To give you an idea of the strength of this fentanyl stuff. That's why it's instant overdose.
Like you really going through it when you know, like, hey man, our other 3 homies just died from it, but let me go. I want to try. I think I'll live.
Well,
that's insane to me.
I've known some guys that had some issues in the past.
Yeah, we all have.
And
we all do.
And the guy in particular that told me this story was, if you heard that there was a dealer that was dealing something that was killing somebody, you went to that guy because it was stronger stuff. You didn't run from it. You went to it.
Jeez.
That's the mindset these guys have.
Yeah, but that's when you're already full-blown sick.
Done. Yeah, sick. And sick's an appropriate word.
Yeah,
But I can't get past, in this day and age, the Angels allowed that kind of atmosphere.
I know.
Because you think back in the 80s with the Mets, and you think back to the Lakers, well, some of the Lakers, but you think back to the Cowboys and the NBA in the late 70s when everybody was coked out of their mind before Magic and Bird turned the league around. I didn't think we'd run into this again.
It's just crazy. It just shows how NFL is king, because if this were the the LA Chargers, we'd be going after the owner.
Yeah.
But since it's MLB, it's like, oh, well, we're just blaming the clubhouse guys. If this was a full-blown drug house in the NFL, we'd be on air today saying, hey, do you think he should lose his team?
It is uncharted waters.
That's crazy.
It's a
full-blown trap house.
Feels like it. Moving on. Yep.
Headline 0.
Back to lighter news and good news for softball fans. There's a San Antonio softball doubleheader today for the University of Wisconsin Green Bay. They will be at UIW at 1 o'clock today, and then the Phoenixes will be at UTSA for a 6 p.m. first pitch. It is not softball weather currently in Green Bay. They've been here since February 11th, and they don't have a home game until March 18th. They've been in Texas since February 11th. They were in the San Antonio tournament last weekend, went to Corpus. Now they're back up here to play 2 games in one day, and I think they're off to Kentucky after this.
I know for a bit, and forgive me for not knowing, but either St. Mary's or UTSA has traditionally hosted a tournament down here that brings in pretty good high-end baseball types, because Up in the north, there's no fields that you want to be playing on right now. It would go down on the Missions field on a fairly regular basis. I don't know if it's
I
another.
didn't know that.
Just because they can't play up in the north.
Well, good luck to them.
Yeah, I'm glad softball season's here. Let's get out on the diamond because there's going to be no baseball.
Our U.S. women's softball team's always pretty good.
Now, I'm gonna pose a program director question to you.
Okay.
As we look at the situation the Major League Baseball finds itself, and we are the Rangers affiliate, it appears that I'm not going to have baseball to broadcast here in the short term.
For a little bit.
Would it be appropriate? Would you like to hear some baseball on the radio? I could pull some Aggie baseball. And I think that might be the fix-all for a lot of people. If you're a baseball addict, maybe because there's no Major League Baseball, let's get some pure stuff. Maybe focusing on college baseball and have a little bit more fun.
I think baseball is the best sport on, like, as far as radio.
Well, it depends on who sends it. And
like Monaco. Baseball people like it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a baseball guy, you like baseball on the radio.
Well, I think we're going to pull up some Aggie baseball in the short term because I do think that there's folks out there that need that cadence of baseball. And maybe
let's do it.
Some of those MLB types might focus in on college baseball and we get away from the Major League Baseballness of baseball. So moving on.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Thank you, Karl.
Good stuff, Karl.
When we get back, James Harden is a free man. He can wear whatever he wants. He had to witness a beatdown, but he is a free man with the 76ers. Let's look around the NBA. Giannis is back, and he looked great. We got to see a couple of the trade victims or recipients. The Mavericks showed us Davis Bertans last night. See where the trades went and how it's going to affect the league as we head closer and closer to the playoffs. Don't forget, we're your home for the All-Star Weekend. We'll have everything all weekend long. You'll have the new rookie thing going on Friday night right here, Saturday night as well, and also Sunday. You'll have the NBA All-Star Game right here on San Antonio Sports Star. NBA talk coming next. You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star. Your Lucky Devils are on ESPN AM 1250, and if you haven't gone, get there now, 103.3 FM. Last weekend, well, it was the big game for the big game. If you were a griller, I hope you stood over a hot grill on that fine Sunday afternoon and showed off your wares from Tri-County Meat Market. Well, the season is going to be pretty again this weekend. Why stop now? Head over to Tri-County and grab something maybe new that you have never cooked before. Maybe you've never gone and gotten some curated sausage made right there at Tri-County Meat Market. And if you're a sausage fan like I am, their mix, their spices, boy, you just cannot beat it. And then you go on top of that. Maybe you've never actually done a tomahawk. Well, you've made it. Earn it. You'll get one. And tomahawks are always there at Tri-County. They'll tell you how to cook it. You don't have a grill? You know, there's a lot of flat iron cooks out there that will swear by that. You don't necessarily have to stand on a grill to make a great steak. The great thing about Tri-County Meat Market is it's not just about red meat. They got white and they got chicken as well. Try the preseasoned fajitas. You will not find a better cut of meat. You don't even need a fork. Those things cut with a spoon. And if you're looking for other things like stuffed chicken breast, they got 3 or 4 different kinds. Try the Italian one. It is like lasagna stuffed into a chicken breast. Fantastic. And if you haven't had an avocado bomb, quite frankly, you haven't lived. And then there's the Texas toothpicks, that sirloin wrapped in bacon, already on the skewer, easy to cook. And man, they are fantastic. That's what you get when you go to Tri-County Meat Market. You got curated expert level beef processing above and beyond the fine meat cutters. Look in the frozen department. They got all kinds of stuff from all over the country as well. Things you won't find in most of the big box stores, desserts as well. Then all the rubs. That's what we're about when we're grilling. And if you want to try something new, Tri-County's always got something like that. Go pick up that chimichurri sauce when you go get the tri-tip. That's what I love about Tri-County Meat Market. You walk in, you don't have to have a menu. It'll come together once you look in that meat market and talk with all the great staff. 2 great locations over on Hebner Road, out on Ralph Fair. If you're a first responder, you walk in the door knowing you're getting 10% off an already low-priced meat. Don't forget the 5 for $25 when you're in there as well. I love Tri-County Meat Market. You have to experience that catered flavor, that curated taste that Tri-County offers you. Head over there today. Get that meat on the grill, take a picture of it, upload it to SA Sports Star, and you take $50 gift card, maybe, when Jason judges your meat on Thursday. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations. Head over there today and thank me tomorrow.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at H-E-B.
March is around the corner, and it showed last night with 2 great college basketball games from Texas schools. In Norman, Oklahoma, number 20 Texas edged out OU in overtime, 80-78. Andrew Jones and Timmy Allen both had 20 points to help UT get the rivalry win. In College Station, the Aggies defeated the University of Florida 56-55 thanks to 3 clutch free throws in a row from Wade Taylor IV with 19.3 seconds left to put Texas A&M ahead for the final score. The Dallas Mavericks started their 5-game road swing on the right foot by defeating the Miami Heat 107-99. Luka Doncic had 21 points to lead the Mavs to the win. And the Spurs will continue the rodeo road trip in Oklahoma City with a 7 p.m. tip-off against the Thunder. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Selman.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Yes, I'm so sorry about the wait, ma'am. I'll be with you shortly. Carrie, how many appointments did we book at 2:30?
Jin's physical therapy clinic is pretty stretched. He needs another PT before patients get bent out of shape.
You get fresh ice pack in Miss Davis's name.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
With a reputation of giving riders the winning edge time and time again, it's easy to see why Kawasaki KX is the bike that builds champions. Built to dominate the track and competition, every KX motorcycle embodies unrivaled power and performance to take the lead and stay in the lead. Get the advantage when you ride KX motorcycle. Kawasaki KX, the bike that builds champions. Visit Alamo Cycleplex today at I-10, just down from Days of Allah exit, to shop our showroom floor or alamocycleplex.com online. Alamo Cycleplex, we sell fun.
College basketball season is heating up, which means it's time for the Wendy's Wooden Watch. In 2002, I was honored to have received the John R. Wooden Player of the Year Award, which is presented to the country's most outstanding men's and women's player, who is also making progress towards earning a degree. This year, players like Chet Holmgren, Jaden Ivey, Nalissa Smith, and Aaliyah Boston are all vying for the trophy. So who will take it home? The 2022 John R. Wooden Men's and Women's Player of the Year Award is presented by Wendy's.
This is your Wendy's wake-up call. Start your day with a better breakfast and get a free drink with any of our morning-making breakfast sandwiches. That's your favorite drink in a Wendy's cup, free. Fresh brewed coffee, free. Diet Coke, free. Vanilla Frosty Chino, that's cold brew plus Frosty Creamer plus free. So don't sleep on this deal. Get any size drink in a Wendy's cup free when you buy any breakfast sandwich. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's. A la carte only. Offer valid upon request on lowest price qualifying item. Not valid for third-party delivery.
A double shot of energy in the AM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Welcome back Hopefully you never left. This is R&R. Rudy J. I'm Rob. And don't forget to go to sasportstar.com on the regular. We're proud of it. Get your sports headlines, games to be played, things to be seen. You can also watch us live on a variety of platforms. We like you to go to the YouTube channel because we get great on that kind of stuff. And you can set your alerts. But if you want to be on Facebook or sasportstar.com, we're glad you're with us. Sound off like you got a pair. You want to hear it?
We have some interesting tickets coming up too.
Yeah.
Some good stuff coming up that we're going to be giving away.
I hear Kevin Hart's coming to San Antonio.
Yes, he is.
That we might have some tickets to do just that.
But you got to tune in. We're going to find out if you want to find out when we're doing it. But you might have some.
You prize pigs. The NBA.
Oh, don't text me. Don't text me. Like Snoop said the other day, I'm straight out of tickets. I don't have no. Trust me, if there's a hookup, Kevin Hart tickets coming to me. So don't text me.
Don't ask.
Don't text me. I ain't got it.
Speaking of concerts, I saw something floating around the social medias that it was 40 years ago this week that Ozzy Osbourne urinated on the Alamo wall.
When? How long ago?
40 years ago this week.
40?
Well, the reason that it's really significant to me is 40 years ago this week, I was a student driver, and we dropped our driver's ed teacher off at the concert. At that concert, and we drove the driver's ed car home. Back to the.
You want to talk about how different times are?
Changed, man.
Your driver's ed instructor said, "Fellas, take me to the Ozzy Osbourne concert and take the car back to the compound."
When we knew when we left, he was like, "We're going to drive downtown. You're going to drop me off, and you're going to drive back." And I used to drive to driver's ed, so
yeah.
So he knew I could drive, so I just drove the car back. So the day.
Could you imagine now if your kid, your 16-year-old walks in, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah, no kidding.
We dropped off the instructor at the Kevin Hart concert and drove back by ourselves. What? It'd be on the 10 o'clock news.
I know.
He'd be in jail.
Now it's just a really cool thing to do.
Did we use car seats back in the day?
Oh, hell no.
I didn't think so.
No.
I don't know. Mom, if you're listening, I don't know. I don't know. Did we have car seats? We had to have.
No, we didn't. At least my generation, we didn't.
I
remember sitting in the middle between my parents on the glove compartment thing, just looking out the window.
I don't know. I can't remember being in a car seat. But again, I don't remember a lot of things. But I don't remember car seats being a thing.
I don't know when it happened.
Now you can't leave the hospital. The nurse comes out with you, looks at you, checks your straps. You know what I mean? True. I guess, man, in 77, you just Mom sit in the back seat and hug you tight.
We threw the baby in the trunk and headed on home.
You know?
That's not what it was.
I can't remember. I damn sure don't remember no booster seat. Now they go from they go from the car seat to the booster. I damn sure don't remember no booster seat.
My first car didn't have a shoulder belt on the driver's side.
What?
It just had a lap belt.
It just had the lap belt.
And I would forever get pulled over back when they changed the law to where you had to have a seatbelt on. I'm like, I've got it on. This is all I got.
Siberian Sneaks, Rudy, cars didn't go fast enough to merit car seats. Well, there was some Trans Ams.
Hold on, Siberian Sneaks. Cars are fast now, and they were slow then. The problem, we had plenty of speed back then. We couldn't stop. It wasn't about the speed. It was the brakes.
Because there was some stuff. The Chevys and stuff had some stuff under the hood.
Shoot,
some 370s.
You run 8-cylinder 454.
Yeah.
Dude, we had speed. It was the stopping.
And it was American muscle, Siberian Sneaks.
We couldn't turn, but in one straight line, we could move. We drove looking downhill with those big mag wheels on the back.
Yes. You ever remember Smokey and the Bandit, Siberian Sneaks?
My father was an attorney. Is an attorney.
Is,
one
still
time,
is.
He got paid in a vehicle.
What did he get?
It was a Plymouth Super Bee. Now that, for those
I'm
that
gonna Google
know,
that one.
Is a bit of a hot rod dragster kind of a thing.
So that was a thing to have.
But it was going to be my first car. My dad brought it home. He was proud of it. It looked pretty well. In my mind, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't want that. It was wheels.
You were that kid?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like big fat wheels on the back, like a chain steering wheel. And
I bet right now you would love to have that car.
I couldn't drive it.
I'm sure it was a 5-speed.
Oh, it was obviously a standard. I mean, but most of the cars I drove, that's the first car I learned to drive was a standard, but I just couldn't drive that thing. I was popping the clutch and that thing would die all the time.
Yeah.
It was humiliating.
Yeah, I remember my Uncle Ned used to have those Datsuns. He had like 2 or 3 of those, and those were nice.
The 280, 240Cs.
Yeah. 2.7, it might have been 2. I don't remember, but it was nice. I used to love that
back
car.
when it was before Nissan.
Right. It wasn't even a Nissan yet.
Datsun.
There you go. Anyways.
The NBA's movement over the weekend, the trade deadline is starting to bear fruit, or not. Last night we saw James Harden for the first time with the Philadelphia 76ers. He did not play. He was Natalie attired. He rung the bell, and then he sat down and watched the Boston Celtics undress the 76ers.
It took his jacket.
Made fun of him.
They lost by 48, which to me is 50. We're rounding up because the Celtics called off the dogs, and the Celtics, and I'm happy because for a while I was getting scared for Ime, Rob. I was like, dude. Like, because when he got the gig, I was like, perfect. You know, he got a gig where he got some players. You're not going somewhere where you're destined to die. And then they started the season awful, but they're starting to look like someone that's coached by the pop tree. They're putting defense first. They're moving the ball. So
I like the way you put it in the pop tree because there's a method to Pop's coaching that all of his mentees, all of his former assistants have followed. You don't win instantly with Pop's system. There are too many moving parts. But once it meshes, then things get easy. But it's so hard to climb that mountain.
Right.
And it's been like that with everybody. Bud had it early on in Atlanta. He just couldn't climb the mountain. He was allowed more time, and he got it done in Milwaukee. I think we could say the same thing if I forget former Karl, 76ers old coach,
Brett Brown.
I think if Brown would have been given more time and not dealt with the process, we would have seen the same thing.
Yeah, man, that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair to Brett. Like, just figure this out while we're tanking. And then, we're not tanking anymore. See you later, Brett. That was crap.
And too many moving parts in there. Yeah. But if you allow these guys enough time, they can get these gears to mesh. And you're seeing the Celtics. They're doing things that you don't see. And this is generational wins, the way that they've won these last 8 straight. So I think it's a tribute to Udoka sticking to the plan, and Derek White has helped him. There's no question about it that he has made that team better.
You got something?
Oh, I was just going to say the frustrating thing for Brett Brown was he was given a new roster every year. It was, okay, you have Jimmy Butler this year. Now that becomes Al Horford and Josh Richardson. And, okay, now, I think this was after he was gone, they traded Josh Richardson for Steph Curry. There's no continuity among this roster that really makes you think, okay, they failed 3 years ago, so now they're going to get over the hump because it's a different roster except for Embiid, really.
And especially when you're dealing with a system like Pops. Now, there are some coaches that can step in and win with any roster pretty quick, but you don't get that sustainable ability. You don't get that sustained team kind of effort, and that's what Pop has always preached. So we saw that with the Celtics. Hopefully they can hang on to that at least for Udoka's longevity there. But the story last night was Harden. He didn't play, but we got to hear from him for the first time in an interview. And, it seems like he was ready to talk a little bit about it. And we got a little bit of a glimpse into what was going on with the Nets. First of all, he didn't blow the Nets up. And, he didn't come out and say Kyrie didn't want to win. He didn't say I didn't get coached. What he said was, it's good to be with guys that want to win. And essentially, I like to be coached. And he felt like, and there have been other stories that are now coming out
that's a jab at Steve.
It was absolutely a jab at Steve Nash. And there's also he felt like when he was coached that he was singled out as the recipient of the coach's ire when Kyrie would have done the same thing. Never got that Kyrie was treated with kid gloves. Don't talk to Kyrie. Let's not upset Kyrie.
Right.
Which I was probably right. I think all three need to be treated in very unique ways. You knew it was going to be hard. But it would be easier if they won. It would be easier if there was some continuity. But they only played together 18 times as a trio.
And look, I don't know if Steve Nash deserved that gig, but, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. He negotiated a head coaching job. But if I was Steve and I took over that gig, I would also come in and be like, look, I'm not going to try and Like you are who you are. If I'm Steve, I'm coming in there thinking I just have to manage personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to come in there and overcoach Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. So I get where Steve was coming from on his laid back approach. Like, okay, well, James, I didn't know you wanted to be coach. Why didn't you tell me that? Like, I don't know. It's a tough gig to have. Like, cause even Pop with LaMarcus Aldridge, he said, the first year he came in, I tried to make him Kevin McHale. I had to just step back. So you have some guys that's like, look, man, I am who I am. Let me be. Just call the play. And then you have a guy like James Harden now saying, I like being coached. I'm like, was D'Antoni coaching you?
I don't think D'Antoni coaches hard either. I think that he and Steve are the same guy.
Just say you wanted to be in Philly. I don't think you have to throw Steve under the bus.
Now, as we move back to Philly, I will say one thing about coaches like Steve Nash. And I've seen it with other former great NBA players. Because I think sometimes those kind of coaches think what is the most basic and easy move. The reason you were great is because you could do that. And if you expect other guys to do that, they're not you. They're not Steve Nash. They don't understand what you're trying to get through to them. And you got to coach them to get there. And I think Harden felt like, dude, coach me.
Yeah.
Tell me where you want. Don't just let me be James Harden. I've done that. I've been there and done that. It's gotten me scoring titles and triple doubles, but I got no ring. So coach me. And I think he might have wanted a little bit of that. And to me, I'm a bit surprised and happy to hear that. I like to hear great players go, you know what? I need to be coached too. At least give me an idea of my place in this world. Instead of just go be James Harden and I'll figure it out, which I don't think that Nash did that, but I just don't think he's the type that's going to, we're not going to run horses. We're not going to run this play 8 times. I expect you to be a pro and go do that. And some guys function well and some don't. I'm actually quite surprised to hear that. I'm also a little bit surprised to hear that Durant and Harden had a little bit of an icy relationship as well.
Yeah, there's reports that when they call it's getting nasty. Assistant coaches saying James Harden would roll his eyes when Steve would draw up plays for KD, that KD and Steve wanted a free-flowing offense, Golden State. That's what KD had in Golden State, a free-flowing offense, and Harden wanted to play pick-and-roll ISO ball. So it was a difference of philosophies, which, at some point they'll be able to sit down and talk and just be like, hey, man, you want to play one way, I want to play one other way. We can still be boys. But right now it's a little nasty.
The pitfalls of superstardom. You knew it wasn't going to last. It was just a matter of how it would end. It didn't end as badly as it could have, but you can tell it ended in time.
But it would definitely be more free flowing with Ben because he don't shoot. So if you want the ball to move, Ben Simmons is your guy.
Absolutely.
Because he passes the ball while he's standing underneath the basket. Doesn't get more free flowing than that.
Every player in the league wants to play with Ben. You will get your shots.
Get your ball.
Coming back, 112 million to be exact of you guys watched the big game on Sunday. We'll talk about the viewership, what that means to the league, and where the viewers were. Coming up next. You're on R&R in the Morning. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 103.3 FM.
The crazy world of SEC football.
I'm East Coast, baby. All you weak back Southern boys don't know nothing about East Coast.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, this afternoon at 2. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hey, team, it's a full house. We got to pick up the pace.
At Hank's Restaurant, the line goes around the block.
Is this for 12? Okay, I need the truffle oil drizzle.
What he needs is another line cook.
Oh, man. Are the quail breasts still in the sous vide? Dave, can you keep an eye on that, please?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the NBA. Catch every score.
He knocks it down.
Every block.
Backs it home.
Listen for the latest on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
This is Joe Reiniger on your home for everything that matters in sports. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
What are you laughing at?
It's R&R in the morning.
Oh,
He's Rudy. I'm the rubber band man.
yeah.
The other R.
You got to go to my Facebook or my Instagram and check out Rob's dance moves. Well,
Got flow this morning.
Yeah, Rob, look with the
That walk away with the limp.
fire. It was fire. Looking good, man.
Welcome back to the show. 112 million people watched the Super Bowl,
It's a lot of people.
reaffirming the power that is the NFL. But the unique story coming out of the viewership wasn't so much that there were a lot of us watching. It was, the LA market was certainly going to draw a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the underdog and Joe Cool and Joe Burrow. They were great themes coming into it, especially being catapulted off what was the best playoffs in NFL history as far as closeout of games.
Yeah, I thought we were caught in the moment, but it really was.
And even the game itself, the Super Bowl ended touchdown in the last 2 minutes to win the game. So we had the best playoffs in NFL history and led up to 112 million of us watching it. But the viewership out of Detroit, I find wonderful and sad all at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
because Detroit is all in on their guy, Matt Stafford, winning a Super Bowl.
Their share of viewers was crazy.
More people per capita in Detroit watched the Super Bowl than any other metropolitan market.
And it's interesting because I just didn't pay attention. I didn't really care. It was Detroit. I spent most of my time saying, why don't the NFL break the tradition and kick them out of Thanksgiving games? So I had no idea that Detroit was rooting for Stafford. I didn't know how they felt about him. But so clearly there was like, clearly that city felt like, hey, you know what? He deserved this. We didn't do right by him. This guy's a solid quarterback that was in some messed up situations. And we have a Detroit fan and Siberian Sneaks. I'm a Detroit native, unfortunately, lifelong Lions fan. Been a Stafford guy, but it was cool and sad, as Rob said. Some Detroiters act like Detroit won the Super Bowl. Detroit Rams shirts that were being sold were pathetic. Again, see, I didn't know how
Detroit Rams shirts?
That's
I didn't know
nasty.
that. Oh.
I didn't know how they felt about him, Rob.
I didn't know they loved him like that. And I was going to make fun of him. Like, oh my God, come on, Detroit, get a winner. But as Dallas Cowboy fan, I remember when DeMarcus Ware left.
Were you happy?
I was happy for him. I wanted him to get a Super Bowl.
Because you know why? Because we liked DeMarcus.
Yeah, and I guess Stafford was the same. I know that he was very much a part of the fabric there, raised a lot of money, was very much part of his community. So it's good to see that. And I was going to go, oh my gosh, come on, poor Detroit. But I recall when DeMarcus Ware left, I was sad to see him go, but I was happy that he was going to go get a chance.
See, when DeMarcus left Dallas, a lot of people were under the impression that he was washed. Like, you know what? It's time to let him go. He's not worth the $20 million anymore. So to see him almost go and win a Super Bowl MVP, would you have felt the same if Tony went to another team, went to the Bucs and won a title? Would you have been happy?
No, because some of those losses I blame squarely on him.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I don't think I'd have had the same feeling, but I probably would have.
I think you would.
I think so. I found it very interesting to see that. And I think there's some good left in the world when you see a Detroit team that, I make fun of Stafford all season long that he still had some Detroitness on him, some of that Detroit stink and, the losing mentality.
Absolutely.
But on the other side of that, you can see why they hired the coach that they did. You can see why they went and got a dude that really kind of fosters the go fight and give everything you got kind of win. So, yeah, respect to Detroit and Siberian Sneaks. I was going to make fun of the team, but now that I view myself in the sports world, I was happy when DeMarcus left, so I can see
he had to be. I mean, DeMarcus, we all love DeMarcus. But, yeah, so I had no idea. So it was refreshing to see because in a world full of negativity.
When we get back, we're going to stay in the football vein.
Ooh, let's stay with Stafford, actually.
Yeah, Richard Sherman called out – he didn't call out Stafford. He called out his numbers, saying, look at the numbers. Is this really a Hall of Famer? Well, Mrs. Stafford took great umbrage with that and tweeted a response. We're going to talk about that and whether you like your NFL wives getting involved with football matters. I think that's worthy of a discussion. We'll also look at the Spurs. They get Oklahoma City tonight. Maybe there's one game closer to that record. Carolina Teague will join us for Shootaround at 8:30. Don't go nowhere. Stay where you is. That would be R&R in the morning. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Do you have a toothache today? Are you worried that at any given moment that cavity is about to come out? You get those twinges every now and then. You get that pain. You think, uh-oh, here it comes again. If you've had fillings on a tooth over and over only to wait for it to blow up again if it's time to have a tooth removed, or it's time for those wisdom teeth to come out, or you're looking for, a new implant, I have your doc. His name is Dr. Mark Haberkorn. His practice is the River City Oral Surgery. Their office is over on I-10 and 1604. Haberkorn's a specialist. He's an oral surgeon, a medical doctor with years of actual experience here in San Antonio. If you're dealing with a toothache or wisdom teeth pain or you need dental implants, you owe it to yourself for your general health to get it done right and get it done at the most effective cost possible. I want to tell you about Dr. Haberkorn at River City Oral Surgery. Their full-scope oral surgery practice. They treat folks of all ages. But really, it's the billing that I want to talk about. Because you can rest assured you're going to have your teeth removed, you're going to have the implant made, and it's going to get the best medical care you can get. But when you pay the bill, that's really when it comes to Dr. Mark Haberkorn's difference. See, he doesn't take insurance. The practice does not accept it. What they do is they offer you a menu price. They'll tell you exactly what it's going to cost to have one tooth removed, two teeth removed, one implant, two implant, upper jaw, lower jaw, whatever it is. You know the price on all of that. I defy you to call another dentist, another oral maxillofacial surgeon anywhere in San Antonio and say, how much does it cost to have a tooth removed? Well, they're going to say, how much is your insurance? What do you have? Well, without insurance, without accepting it, they can set the price and give you the absolute best medical care without the hindrance of your insurance company. And you know exactly what it costs. Now, they offer financing, and they'll even help you file. But when it's time to have a tooth removed, when it's time to have an implant put in, I want you to put Dr. Mark Haberkorn in your phone. Here's the number you need. It's 210-778-0002. That's 210-778-0002. Their website is rivercityoms.com. Go there right now, and look at the price list. You'll see what I'm talking about. Unique practice done by an expert dentist. You're never going to get that anywhere else. Call Dr. Mark Haberkorn today. When it's time to have a tooth removed, when it's time for an implant, call him today and thank me later.
Here we go again. Baseball owners and players can't agree on a new contract. The owners have locked players out. The players have refused a federal arbitrator. And no one's playing ball anytime soon. What will this mean for spring training? What will it do to the regular season? Will there even be a regular season? Stay connected and be in the know. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
The San Antonio Home and Garden Show is coming up February 25th through the 27th, and the Window Source of San Antonio would love to see you there. We'll be there hoping homeowners just like you get quality windows at the price you deserve. Come by our booth and mention ESPN, and we'll knock off an additional 5%. Isn't it time you let them old windows go? Call the Window Source of San Antonio right now, 210-880-3021. That's 210-880-3021. Come visit our showroom at 6800 Fairgrounds Parkway or visit us at windowsourceofsa.com.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GEAR to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The minute you lay your eyes on the all-new Toyota Tundra Capstone, you'll know it was made to make a statement. With its 22-inch dark chrome alloy wheels made for turning heads, carefully crafted two-tone leather trim seats made for pulling up in style, 12-speaker JBL premium audio made for turning up, plus power running boards made for stepping out on the town. The all-new Tundra Capstone, made to make a statement. Toyota, let's go places. JBL is a registered trademark of Harman International Industries, Inc.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings. Only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wednesday in the blessed AM. It's 8:03. You're on R&R. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. Karl driving the boat. This hour, we're going to talk some football. Carolina Teague will be here at 8:30 for Shootaround. She had a nice segment yesterday. Nice little sit down with Michael Jimenez on halftime.
Yeah, those two. You get those two together, they get to acting up. Good stuff, though.
It is good stuff. Make sure you're tuning into Mike every day from noon to 2 for your halftime sports. It's sports, pop culture,
and nostalgia.
I want to make sure I get it in that order.
Something like that.
Something like that. So for those of us that are married, our wives, our significant others, like to protect us. They're mama bears. Most mama bears are mama bears. Don't call out mine.
Right.
You're gonna get a reaction.
Same.
Well, after the Super Bowl win, Matt Stafford's career suddenly becomes part of the conversation about Hall of Fame. Richard Sherman, never one to back away from a microphone, was asked about Matt Stafford. He's about to go on a podcast, but the Hall of Famer said, I'll say it exactly. Going into the Hall of Fame for Matt Stafford would be like a participation trophy. No all-decade team, no all-pro, no MVP, one Pro Bowl, not even an MVP of the Super Bowl. Never considered the best in any year he ever played. At least Matt Ryan has an MVP. He did nothing spectacular. It's really a macrocosm of his career. Did good, not great. Made a few wow passes, made a few face palm passes. Aaron Donald and Vaughn are the two Hall of Famers he should thank.
Wow.
There's no measuring stick that makes Stafford a Hall of Famer other than playing in the most passer-happy decade in the NFL. Inflated numbers make every quarterback start with 10-plus years look like a Hall of Famer. Well, I mean, that's certainly a defensive back who's played against him.
Yeah, I think it's, for the most part, everything he said was true. But to family members, diehard fans, best friends, buddies, teammates, you want to curse Richard Sherman out. Kind of. Like, dude, I just won the Super Bowl less than 72 hours ago. And this is how you greet me?
Now, with that in mind, Matt Stafford's wife takes that great umbrage. I'm sure every wife doesn't like that.
She got upset?
Well, obviously. Okay. I think every wife does. It's just a matter of what the response is like. Now, I remember when Giselle came to Tom Brady's defense saying his receivers weren't catching the ball.
He can't throw it and catch it.
That was unfortunate. Now, Matt Stafford's wife came back with a tweet saying, "Hi, haters," with a picture of Stafford waving.
That's what she did?
Mm-hmm. And initially, when I heard that Matt Stafford's wife was coming to the defense of her husband, I thought, oh, no, here we go. But you know what? This was not about what was going on the field. This was just protecting her husband from some dude that really didn't need to say anything. I have no problem with his wife stepping in. Now, I had a problem with Giselle, and I think it's because I don't mind if a family member, father, brother, husband, wife, sister, I don't care if you come to the defense of your beloved when they're taking shots off the football field, when it's something about their, that is not tangible, but reputation. I can see coming to the defense. Family members should not ever come and discuss what happened between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's amongst the players. That's it. Players can say it to each other. Your family, your friends, your mom, your dad can't. That's my line. And I have no problem with his wife coming back and saying, shut up. Shut up. What do you say?
The thing about it, the most scrutinized athlete in the last 03 to 22, 19 years has been LeBron James. By far. And we've said everything under the sun about him. Wife has never said a word.
No.
Never said. I've never heard Siobhan say a word. Not a word. So, should anybody have to say anything? If Miss James has never said, because we have said any and everything possible about that man, and not a peep.
No.
Curry's wife speaks up for Steph. Russell Westbrook's wife went at Stephen A. Kevin Durant's mama went at Stephen A. Like, we've seen, like, this isn't anything new. And you want that. My wife has probably said some things that, she hasn't said anything I wouldn't want her to say, but my wife has spoken up for me before. So this is what wives do. They're more ride or die than we are. We'll be like, hey, honey, that's between you and Shirley at the office. I don't think I want to post anything on Facebook between what's going on with you and Shirley, So I get it. And she didn't even really go hard.
No, she didn't go hard.
She could have went at him like, dude, you were a zone DB that was protected by Cam Chancellor and Bobby Wagner.
You're a glorified safety that could play off, yes.
But for what they went through, she had brain surgery in 2019, and he was right there by her side. So if you come at him, a man that's had her back through brain surgery, yes, she's going to have something to say to you, and I don't blame her.
Yeah, none at all.
I don't blame her. I respect Mrs. James, but I also respect the Giselles of the world. Like, of course, they're going to have our backs. They say mama's going to go in the fire and get you. Dad, hey, I loved you, son. Mama going in there to get her baby.
I'll make another look just like
women are just like you. perfect example. You within 300 yards of a mama grizzlies, bears, babies, you're going to die. Okay? Mamas are protective. Wives are protective. So I get it. And I don't have a problem with it because it was 2 days after, and we all did it. We did it. First Take did it. Get Up did it. Like, is he a Hall of Famer? Like, damn, can the champagne dry? Can he get the champagne out of his hair before we start dissecting his career? But I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. Now, someone just said, well, Warren Moon's only had one All-Pro year, and he's in. See, that's the thing. I think it's tough to compare receiver and QB eras. Because in the Warren era, that was unprecedented, like what him and Jim Kelly were doing at that time. Now, of course, everybody throws 4,000 or 5,000 yards. You're super protected. The QB, you can't touch the QB, you can't touch receivers. If you're not throwing for at least 4,000 to 4,500 yards, you shouldn't be in the league. So I don't know if we can compare Matthew Stafford to Warren Moon. Like Michael Irvin's numbers aren't going to – Cooper Kupp probably going to end up with better yards than Michael Irvin. Does that mean he's the playmaker?
Maybe.
Because I asked Shereen Williams about this, and she was like, look, I have problems with just saying any of these guys with these inflated numbers just because their numbers are better than the guys from the 70s and 80s doesn't make them Hall of Famers. So we're going to have to go off our eye tests more now because, again, Jameis Winston's going to put up crazy numbers. He threw for almost 5,000 yards. His last season in Tampa Bay. He a Hall of Famer? But so I don't think you can compare Warren to Matthew Stafford or Troy to Matthew Stafford for that sake.
In other NFL news, Adrian Peterson was released from custody in Los Angeles after the plane that he was on was stopped on the tarmac and he was arrested in a domestic dispute with his wife. He was on an interview. I would like to credit the source. I forget who it was. We'll find it. And essentially he said, as his wife did not press charges, he said it was no big deal, that essentially all he did was pull the wedding ring off of his wife's finger, the one that was scratched, and the reason why he was arrested.
The DA did decide not to press charges.
Well, it's kind of difficult when you have a spouse that's not going to testify.
Right.
But there was obviously an altercation, and he did put his hands on her.
Yeah.
Now, you can say it's no big deal. He says no big deal, that he was astounded that the plane stopped, that he couldn't. Well, obviously, somebody was very concerned.
Yeah, it was yelling and screaming, and the pilot was like, oh, no.
Exactly.
We gotta land this thing.
So I think you can just.
Or not even take off.
I think Adrian, and he's not going to get in trouble. It looks like the DA is not going to press charges, but he's had a history before of having a rather short temper, it appears.
Yeah, he did. He had the incident with his kids. The switch, which I got many.
Those of us who grew up,
I got many switches.
Anybody who's ever had to pick out their own switch,
I remember being on radio during that time, and I was like, sometimes my grandma make me go get it. You know what I mean? Go pick out.
So was yours a switch? Was it literally the switch, or what was
grandma?
What was the device of whipping in your house? Mine was, my mother used the wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon. I would get the belt on the hand. Belt on the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Same hand. Switch with grandma. Pick the switch. Hand.
The hand was my dad used to thump us on the back of the head.
But as I could say, during that time when Adrian Pierce was going through that, like, I earned every whooping I got. I earned it. I deserved it. So it was weird for me to have to talk about that because some people are anti-touch your kids. Like my daughters, I don't spank my daughters, but I'm not against people that do. I mean, everybody was different. And you were on radio during that time. That was a tough subject to cover because there's some people that just do not believe in touching children. So it was a heated debate at that time. Very heated debate at that time. I mean, he grew up in Palestine.
Yes.
I grew up in Tyler. We are stone's throw from each other. Grew up the same way. Like, hey, man, you get out of line, you get touched up. That's just how it was.
It was. I grew up the same way.
I know you exactly.
Although my father only spanked us one time. It was enough.
You learned your lesson.
My mother had unleashed.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of them.
No.
Like I didn't get a lot of. Because after a while, you just like my mom knew like, okay, you're not going to soccer practice. She realized that hurt me more.
Right.
Than like, okay, yeah, you acting up. No practice, no game this week.
Back when we was kids, there was nothing to take away. When we were done with school, where were we going? I was going home. What, I can't watch Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, she would take soccer away. So I didn't get a lot of whoopings. Like I wasn't like beat. It wasn't like that. Nothing like that. But the ones I did get, I earned.
We're going to talk some Spurs in a bit. Carolina Teague's coming around the corner. We got Oklahoma City and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as the Spurs continue their rodeo road trip. And as we all assume, this is one of those that we circled as we get closer and closer to the all-time winning record that Pop has been chasing. Let's hope they can get one tonight, and Carolina Teague will join us as we go there. But first, you need to be informed.
Yes,
I need to be informed. Carl's got the info. Give it to us. It's time for the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo logs fourth fewest shot attempts in 50-point game in an NBA history. Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 50 points on 7 of 21 shooting Tuesday night to lead the Milwaukee Bucks to a 128-119 victory over the Indiana Pacers. It's only Giannis's third 50-point game in the regular season. The top 4 players with career 50-point games: James Harden with 23, Kobe with 25, MJ with 31, and Wilt Chamberlain in a distant first with 118.
Jesus. Did you say 118?
Yes.
118 50-point games.
It's one of my favorite Wilt stats. It's like, who has the most 50-point games? It's like Wilt has more than the next 3 combined.
Well, one of Giannis' 50-point games was as a closeout in the finals. That's big dog.
The greatest
50-point
game of all time.
Yeah, that's a big dog bleep. But I was talking to Rob before the show about that game, Karl. And there was one play where he went between the legs, dribble left, pull up, wet. And I said to myself last night, if that becomes consistent, everybody go home. Everybody go home. He's going to win 4 of the next 6 titles. If he's going to go at 7 feet between the legs, one dribble, pull up, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do with him. He can already get to the rim whenever he wants. He can put you in the post whenever he wants. He dominates on the defensive side of the floor. He's averaging 12 rebounds. He's a true leader. Guys like playing with him. Now, if you give him a pull-up, knock it off. We can all go home. Let's just hope that isn't consistent so we can enjoy watching basketball. Because if he gets a pull-up, you're not beating him. He is the best player in the league right now, averaging 30 and 12, and now he's developing a pull-up. It's scary hours, as these kids like to say. Hey, Mom. Yeah, so I don't know what you think.
No, I'm with 100%.
Oh, okay.
He's like Thanos. Like, oh no, he's got another stone. Oh no.
Yeah.
He looked like
he's got another stone.
He looked like he was an 8th grader playing against 6th graders last night. That pull-up was beautiful. He was taking 3 steps from the 3-point line for layups. Dude, that was frightening.
Man.
Moving on.
Good Lord.
Headline 1.
We mentioned in the last 411 that there might only be about 5 hockey players we can name. Well, one of them for sure is Sidney Crosby. He nets his 500th career goal and joins Mario Lemieux as the only Pittsburgh Penguin to reach that feat. He's 34 years old, so we won't actually be able to say he's I don't believe he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, we won't be able to say he's one of the hockey players we know for much longer.
I wish I could speak intelligently about hockey.
Me too.
I really do, but I do.
500 goals is a lot.
It feels like the Penguins were a lot like the Spurs, where they had Lemieux, and as soon as Lemieux was ending his, then they get Crosby, much like, Duncan and Robinson.
Right.
But they just didn't quite translate it into the titles that the Spurs did.
They won a couple.
But it feels like Pittsburgh has been very lucky in having 2 GOATs back to back. And I remember when Crosby arrived, he was the next.
Huge deal.
He was the next, and it doesn't always happen where they live up to it. And as Crosby arrived, so did LeBron, and the 2 golden children. They stayed golden their entire careers. Moving on.
Headline 0.
If only the Warriors had more firepower is probably what you're thinking. Well, sources say the Warriors clear James Wiseman for 5-on-5 scrimmage. Next step in comeback from injury. Warriors general manager Bob Myers first shared the news on his plan in the Morning Roast radio show. This is the latest step in Wiseman's rehab process after tearing his meniscus last April, and is a sign he's approaching what could be the final ramp-up stage before returning to the court. Wiseman was initially projected to return by the start of the season, but multiple setbacks have pushed that date back. There's still no clear timetable for his return to the court, but him taking part in the 5-on-5 scrimmage is one step closer to that.
Yikes.
I don't know if he fits. Does he fit?
No, I don't think he fits.
I haven't seen enough of them. I'm talking Steph, Clay, Draymond, with the main three there, with the big three there. And they've looked so good without him. That's why I thought they were in the business of trading, because I was like, I don't know if Wiseman works, but I guess they want to see. I mean, they did take a second?
Yes.
Guess you
He's
want to
the future.
see.
The problem with what Golden State has is you can't get another one. There's not another Draymond coming.
Right.
Those guys, that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unique. You want to talk unicorn. Only Draymond does what Draymond does in the NBA. And you can't replace that. But what they're going to replace him with, the future Wiseman, is another. Got to remember when James Wiseman, his only year at Memphis, he only got to play like 4 or 5 games.
Got hurt.
But in those, and he also had a scholarship issue.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That?
I'm sorry. You're right.
He looked like a young David Robinson.
Ooh,
he looked like
high praise, Rob.
I'm not saying he was David Robinson,
I know what you're saying.
But what he was doing that first couple of games back at Memphis that we haven't had a chance to see since then was ridiculous. Now, he doesn't do what Draymond does. He does a lot of stuff, though.
This is what I will say. If it's going to work, he's going to have to be okay being DeAndre Ayton.
True.
And what I mean by that is you're going to have to be okay doing the dirty work and not getting plays called for you.
Garbage man. And
I don't know if he's that guy. Ayton is number 1 overall pick himself, but he's taken on that third. He's taken on, I call it the Chris Bosh role, and he's excelled at it. And I think Wiseman is in the same boat. You're going to be the third option, and you're going to have to be okay with it. But you're still going to have to be a rim protector, rebound, set screens, dive for balls, and get your 15 points off of, the ball came to me.
Trash.
Yeah. So if he does that, then now we're talking about yikes.
Yikes.
Now we're talking about yikes for sure. Because, I mean, that's all they needed was a big, right? They used to it was Bogut.
Kevon Looney is their starting center.
Yeah, it was Bogut, then Spates, McGee, now Looney. So that's not a position where you're going to get a lot of touches. If he's okay with that, then hell, the sky's the limit.
It's a team of greyhounds. Moving on.
Right.
That's the 411 and a 210.
I can't imagine what that team will look like once Wiseman if he becomes what he looked like he could become.
Right.
I don't know who you replace the distribution of the ball with. I don't know who takes over that role. Because
as far as what do you mean?
Because Draymond is a willing
passer.
Yeah.
He's the table setter for sure.
And Steph can, but you don't want Steph to do that.
Right. I want him in scoring mode.
I want him scoring. I want Clay in scoring mode. Right. I want Wiseman playing that high pick and roll, dive into the rim kind of stuff. They're going to have to find somebody that is a willing distributor.
And I think, because you noticed it when Clay got back, I think they're old and wise enough to know, like, okay, let's get him some touches right away. You know, it was kind of like when you were playing with T.O. or you're playing with Randy.
Good point.
And you want them engaged, you get them some touches early. And I think Steph and Clay and Draymond all know, like, if we're going to get the best out of him, let's get him some touches early, get him going, get him locked in, and then we go from there.
Spurs on the road tonight. They're taking on the Oklahoma City Thunders up there in OKC. The Spurs last against the Bulls. Not a respectable outing. They've gone 4 of 6 in their last 10, losing 1. The Thunder are beneath the Spurs significantly, although they share the same record over the last 10, and they're coming off a win. We'll talk about it with Carolina Teague. A shoot-around is next here on R&R in the morning. This is San Antonio Sports Star. You're on ESPN AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. The Spurs on the road. These rodeo road trips can beat you down. You start dealing with those aches and pains that can keep you out of the game, and we'll see who's playing tonight. But if you're dealing with an ache or a pain, something that will not let you get in the game, I want you to call my friends at Arasti, because that's what they do. They are experts at getting folks like you out of pain. So if you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, a strain or a pull, maybe it's a tight lower back or those hamstrings will just not let you sleep. Maybe it is a frozen shoulder or hip that you just lost some mobility there and you just kind of gave up. Well, let Arasti kind of get to work on that. And then there's some other things you might not even consider Arasti for. If you have plantar fasciitis, basically really bad sore feet, they can work with you. They can actually get in there and help you with that. Or maybe it's those tension headaches that run up the back of your neck all the way to the top of your head. Arasti can fix that too, because what they do is non-invasive. We're not talking surgery, not long-term processes, and certainly not about deadening medications, whether over-the-counter or prescribed. It is your body being manipulated to fix itself. It sounds really easy, but the offing, so many other medical professionals would much rather hide the pain than fix it. So we're not talking about pills to cover it. It's about your body getting it fixed. After the first treatment, you'll walk out feeling much, much better. They, on average, will get you back in the game, back to full health in 3.2 visits. They know because they studied it. When you go to an Arasti provider, you do not need a referral, and they accept most insurances. So write the number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. 1-800-404-6050. Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti is going to join us in just about an hour. You get an idea of the processes they do and the things that they do to keep you healthy. The thing about Arasti, why there's so many providers here in San Antonio, is because they train here in the city. Everybody comes from around the country to learn and become an Arasti provider. It's a certification above and beyond your typical medical cert. So you'll have chiropractors, you will have rehab specialists, you'll have general practitioners, all attaining this Arasti certification because it means so much, because they learn so much. Visit the Arasti webpage for all the patient testimonies and find out where a provider is close to you. It's Arasti.com, AIRROSTI.com. 1-800-404-6050 is the number you need. The website is Arasti.com. Trust me, don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call an Arasti provider today. They'll get you taken care of, and before you know it, you'll be pain-free, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at H-E-B.
March is around the corner, and it showed last night with two great college basketball games from Texas schools. In Norman, Oklahoma, number 20, Texas edged out OU in overtime, 80-78. Andrew Jones and Timmy Allen both had 20 points to help UT get the rivalry win. In College Station, the Aggies defeated the University of Florida 56-55 thanks to 3 clutch free throws in a row from Wade Taylor IV with 19.3 seconds left to put Texas A&M ahead for the final score. The Dallas Mavericks started their 5-game road swing on the right foot by defeating the Miami Heat 107-99. Luka Doncic had 21 points to lead the Mavs to the win. And the Spurs will continue the rodeo road trip in Oklahoma City with a 7 p.m. tip-off against the Thunder. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 in 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
The San Antonio Home and Garden Show is coming up February 25th through the 27th, and the Window Source of San Antonio would love to see you there. We'll be there hoping homeowners just like you get quality windows at the price you deserve. Come by our booth and mention ESPN, and we'll knock off an additional 5%. Isn't it time you let them old windows go? Call the Window Source of San Antonio right now, 210-880-3021. That's 210-880-3021. Come visit our showroom at 6800 Fairgrounds Parkway, or visit us at windowsourceofsa.com.
Hola, Carla speaking.
Carla's roofing company always goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we heard about next week's forecast.
She needs a new foreman to weather a storm of projects.
You mean another full crew before Wednesday? Mira, Jose, can you work Wednesday?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on them.
Tyler's cleaning crew knows every housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% on all of our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast, free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. So now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I don't know about you, but my car could use a few upgrades. I mean, the 8-inch tear in the driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt has molded to fit it, but I'm ready to move on. My solution? eBay Motors. They've got all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, from seat covers to whole new seats. When I get that new seat, I think I'll put the old one in the living room, right next to the minivan seats, or as we call it, the sectional. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. He's Rudy, I'm Rob. If you're dialing in and watching us live, about 7 o'clock, you'll see Carolina Teague. If you haven't gotten to your device that you can, go there quickly. I recommend headed to our YouTube channel, San Antonio Sports Star. But if you're on Facebook or Twitter, wherever it might be, we're glad you're with us. And Carolina Teague is here too. Hello, Carolina. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. We have the Oklahoma City Thunders on the docket tonight. The Spurs coming off a tough loss, one that was one of those incremental growth kind of games. Yeah. One of those things we wanted to see from the Spurs. And don't necessarily win to get yourself out of that playoff bubble and playoff ping pong ball scenario, but get better at the same time. And I think they did that. But we're not looking at the same team tonight. This is an Oklahoma City team that we need to beat.
Yes. For sure.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Main reason is because, well, for me, the main reason is because I want Coach Popovich to be the most winningest head coach of all time.
That too.
The faster we get there, the better. So that's one of the main reasons. And plus, it is good to see how the Spurs are now developing without Derek White as one of their main starters. So it's going to be really interesting to see how everything plays out tonight.
She is Carolina Teague, our Spurs insider. The Spurs are at the Thunders tonight as they take on a Thunder team that's racing to the bottom, where the Spurs are racing to figure out who the hell they are. Josh Richardson was, found himself a San Antonio Spur now, used to be an outsider. Are we expecting to see some of the new guys begin to step onto the court starting tonight?
I don't expect them to see them on the court. Actually, you know what? I do expect to see them on the court. There's kind of like back and forth. Greg Popovich did say we should expect them to see them soon. So I do expect to see Josh Richardson and Romeo Langford. So we'll see what happens.
Karl, what do you think, Karl? Do you expect to see him tonight?
Good question.
Probably not. I don't really know. I would assume that Richardson probably needs a little more time to be acclimated. They haven't had too much practice time, but maybe they do get spot minutes. You never know.
And Langford as well. I know that he's been dealing with some injuries tonight, but the real exciting thing about taking on Oklahoma City is Josh Getty. But first, we'll talk about them in a bit, but we need to know ourselves.
Know yourself.
I was running through the six with my walk.
Now, as the Spurs didn't trade any starters per se. Derek White was an ongoing starter. Yeah, but we've had some rotational. Yeah, I'll give him that. But we're trying to fill that. And I came in thinking it was going to be Lonnie, and it wasn't. Lonnie was the first guy off the bench who offered that offensive punch. And I liked that. And I think McDermott played quite well. So given what we saw, that's what we expect to see from here on out, that it'll be Lonnie providing that Patty Mills.
It's
I don't know
all
where that
good.
came from. Patty Mills offensive punch. Defensive orientation will be more important with the longer guys playing in the starting five with Devin Vassell. Is that how we feel is going to go?
I think so. It just seems like that's just naturally the rotation that Greg Popovich likes right now. And I like the way that Devin Vassell's been playing, even though he scored 5 points in the last game. He's done a really great job just defensively. And the Spurs, when they played against the Bulls the last game, I think they played really good defense, with the exception to the fourth quarter where they gave up the lead. And they were basically, Doug McDermott said in the last show, or the last post-game press conference, that DeMar DeRozan was unguardable in that situation, even though the Spurs were double teaming him. And I think they played pretty good defense up until that point. It was just a situation where DeMar DeRozan was unguardable, and the Spurs really need to find a player that is clutch in those moments. And they proved that night that they gave up that lead, that they need to find somebody who is a super clutch player. DeMar DeRozan, he screams clutch. The Spurs haven't really found that person yet. But I think Lonnie Walker is a great player coming off the bench for the past 3 games ever since Derek White's been gone. First game, he only had 3 points. He only had 2 points, I'm sorry. Second and third game, coming off the bench, he was in the double digits. So I like the idea of Lonnie Walker finding his identity as a sixth man at the moment and being able to give some relief to Devin Vassell and just being able to rotate the players out that way. So that's how I like them.
I agree. Also, the other thing Rob and I have gone back and forth about CT is Zach Collins. Now, I think both of us would like there to be a situation where they start him alongside of Pirtle. But at the same time, I see the coaching staff working like, we're going to need a big when these guys need a blow. So if you start them together, then, who are you bringing off the bench? Is it going to be Eubanks, whatever? So I see why they keep Zach on the bench, because okay, at some point Pirtle needs a break. Zach will be there along with Lonnie and the other guys. So I kind of get it.
We didn't get to see.
I get it. Oh, I'm sorry. I get it too. I get it too. I see exactly why. Just based off how they've been playing their rotations this year, usually Drew Eubanks comes off the bench when Jakob Pirtle needs a break. So I do see them utilizing Zach Collins in that same fashion. For Zach Collins, they did say that he needs a little bit more development. He even said that so himself. So I think this way that they're playing him right now off the bench is the perfect way to get him into the rotation, getting acclimated with the Spurs system, and moving forward. Hopefully, if he becomes better. He had 9 points in 18 minutes. I think he's a great player. I think he's ready to play more than anybody. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe he'll be a starter one day, but I don't see it right now.
Let's find out about the Oklahoma City Thunders as they're coming, racing to the bottom as well. Let's find out about them, knowing our enemy.
Know your enemy.
Well, when you think Oklahoma City, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Not me.
Rudy J's favorite player out of Kentucky.
Can't stand that dude.
Hey, he is literally all they've had lately. I'm a fan of Lugan's Dort. I like saying the name one, but I think that guy is built like a fire plug, and when he gets hot, he's fun to watch.
I like Getty. That's it.
But there is Josh Getty, the guy that has lived up to the expectations. Finally, we're seeing a guy with a total European game being effective on a team. And I think this will be one of those. Getty might end up being the only gold that they're able to mine out of all these draft picks.
The youngest player in history to get a trip dip in the Garden. You see what happens when you let the youth play and learn on the job?
Well, you also have the record.
I know.
like
I'm
they
kidding.
have.
I'm kidding. I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling K-Dot over there.
Darius Baisley as well is one of those young players that they're trying to figure out if he's going to be a long-term fix. It's interesting when I look at the roster that they've managed to put together with all these draft picks, and it is a veritable G League who's who. They haven't really gotten in there. I like Trey Mann. I think there's some future there. Derek Favors.
I like Mann too.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl might be a player in the long term for him, but when I look at this roster, they're so far away from where they want to be. I don't want to follow that path. When all those people talk about team tank, worst case scenario is Oklahoma City with all of these draft picks and really nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think when I look at the bottom of the barrel, I'm looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I do see that they are focusing on the youth at the moment. Josh Giddey is also my favorite player right now. He's the one assuming the primary ball handling responsibilities for Oklahoma City at the moment, and he's just showing how much he can step up as that role player when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went down. So I think watching him play and just seeing the way that they performed, they've been 1-1 in this series with the Spurs, and they both won at home. So this game is going to be at home for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So maybe they'll have the, whatever it takes to win tonight. But I don't necessarily see that happening. I like the way that the Spurs are playing right now without the veterans. And I like the way Lonnie Walker's been playing off the bench. Just being able to hold onto that lead in the fourth quarter is going to be really important for the Spurs to come off with a win tonight. And then, of course, creating points off turnover. So it'll be really interesting to see their final. I don't know if this is the Oklahoma City's final game. They've already played twice. I think this might be their final
It is both the Spurs and the Thunder's last game before the All-Star break. So it'll give them a chance.
Okay, perfect.
With that in mind, I'm seeing that Gilgeous will not be playing tonight. Neither will a couple of bench guys as well. You're not going to see them. And I have a feeling this is one of those getaway games before everybody's got a little bit of a vacation.
Dude, it's hard to work on the last day before vacay. There'll be some blowouts tonight. Nobody works on their last day before vacation. Nobody.
Like, I feel like my brain goes into autopilot before vacation. So I'm pretty sure one of the players on the team, they all know that they're not going to make the playoffs. Well, at least the Oklahoma City Thunder is it. Somebody's going to be on autopilot. And I think the Spurs could come up with a win because of that mentality.
Now, last time before we talked to you, it was Valentine's Day. Did you get what you wanted?
I mean, I got what I wanted from a dinner perspective. But, when it comes to, like, the bedroom perspective.
No, I didn't say that. I thought I was meaning gift. Oh, whoa, traveling, double dribble, CT. We good. Hey, whoa. I'm talking about a real gift, like that you go purchase at the store.
Oh, okay.
Not.
Okay, because to me, that's a gift.
What?
That escalated quickly.
Lord have mercy. CT, you're not on with Jimenez. Now, Jimenez might ask you that. He's nosy. Me, Karl, Rob, we're good. I don't need to. Hey, did you get a gift that you buy? Damn.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? It's not even 9. You ever watch Barbershop? No rap before 12, no bedroom before 9. So what did you get?
I know what household y'all are running.
Yeah, we don't do that before 9 on the show anyway.
One of the things, let me pivot real quick.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm going to be very interested to watch over the next couple of games is when we made the deal with the Celtics. We made a deal with two comparable systems with Ime and Pop.
Yes.
And we noticed that Derek White stepped onto the court with Boston just about immediately. And it looks like he's in the right place at the right time. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Celtics that came our direction play a little bit quicker than we're accustomed to. I wouldn't be surprised to see Romeo Langford and Josh Richardson get some minutes earlier because they've been in a semblance of the system, especially Josh Richardson. So as we're waiting for these guys to play, I think it might be a little bit quicker than we're accustomed to.
I think it worked out for up to this point. CT has worked out for both sides. What do you think?
I think so too. I saw that blog about Derek White saying that he was, a bad look for the Celtics. And I think that's unfair because his flight hadn't even landed and he scored in the double digits in the first 2 games. So as far as Derek White's concerned, coming off the bench, he's been playing really well for them. I do think that the Spurs did get a lot in regards to that trade. They got the draft pick for 2022 in addition to the players. So I feel like it worked out for the both of them. So, I mean, I think the Spurs are focused full blown for the draft and the youth and all that stuff, and this is perfect right up their alley. So I think both of them won. I give the Spurs a B on the trade grade, so that's where I'm at.
A B? Okay. A B is not bad.
A B.
Well,
it's not bad. It's not an F.
It seemed like for whatever reason, Lonnie and DeJounte look like, for whatever reason, and I'm not saying this is I'm not knocking Derek. I liked Derek. I wasn't in love with Derek. But things opened up more for both of them since Derek has been gone. There's only been it's not even been a handful yet. but Lonnie seems more open, and DeJounte seems like he's more free flowing as well.
That's what Jimenez said, and I agree with you guys.
Okay.
Jimenez was saying something very similar to that, and I didn't think of it that way until you guys told me directly. But I agree with you guys in the sense that Lonnie Walker does have more ball handling with the team, is able to flow more freely instead of just getting shots right off the bat.
Yeah.
He gets it.
I still think he's destined to get some starters minutes. Let's figure out who's playing.
Let it go, Rob.
I'm telling you.
Let it go, Rob.
When it happens, I am going to stand up. When and if.
Who's hurt, CT, on both sides? What we got?
Well, let's look at what I've.
Well, on the Thunder, it's everybody. Spurs,
Everybody.
Trey Jones is Spurs injuries. Trey Jones is doubtful. He has a knee issue. Devontae Kaycock is out. 2-way G League. Joe Weiskamp out. 2-way G League. That's it for the Spurs. Thunder injuries. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out with his ankle. Mike Muscala.
Muscala.
Really bad. Muscala. Jeez, you see, I tried.
It's okay. Worthy effort.
Good effort. You're not a play-by-play person.
That's not an easy one at all. I wouldn't worry about that.
Jeremiah Robinson, Jordan is out, and Waters is out, 2-way G League. So those are the injuries for tonight. But I think the main one is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He kills us. Now, I'm a question for both of you.
Okay.
They're heading into the All-Star break. They're going to get a second nice long break. They just had 5 days off.
That's right.
You got an Oklahoma City team on the road. You've split home and home. You're going to have some time off. If I'm Pop, or if you're Pop, do you go hard tonight? Do you bring everybody and everybody going to get minutes, or do you treat it kind of like a getaway game? Your backups, see if my backups can beat your backups.
No, you play all out. You play all out. Every time they go out and play with a team this young is a learning experience. So yeah, if you got Tim, Tony, Manu, Kawhi, like, hey y'all, let's just get out of here healthy. Don't be diving into the stands. We just want to get out of here healthy, go get some rest. But with a young team like this, you go, you know what, to the wall and try to get your W and try to learn and keep playing the right way.
I'd go the same way. 48 minutes, man. Let's put our foot on their throat and put them to bed early. I want them to go into the All-Star break feeling good about themselves as they round the corner, finish up the rodeo road trip, and head into the play-in scenario as we go. Yeah. She is Carolina Teague. Go ahead.
Let me say, Pop did make comments that he said if he's taking his team on purpose and forcing them not to win, he's doing them a disservice with their development. He said something similar to that nature. Don't quote me exactly, but I think he's going to go hard in the paint, especially, if I'm Pop, I want to get my 3 wins sooner than later. So everybody's going hard in the paint until I get my 3 wins, then we can take a break.
Amen.
That's where I'm at.
I think that's where they all stand. Carolina Teague, our Spurs insider. Shoot around as we hit it every game day. Thanks for stopping by, Carolina. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. See you guys when the break's over. Peace.
Have a good one. Peace.
Carolina Teague. We'll be back next week after the All-Star break is concluded. Remember, you can catch all the All-Star action right here on San Antonio's Sports Star, because that's what we do. It'll start Friday and run all weekend long. You can catch everything that you will see on the television, on the radio as you travel about. When we come back, Charles Barkley made an announcement. We'll see if he sticks himself to it. We'll also look at the NFL and an age-old argument that's worthy of bringing up again. If you're the worst team in the NFL, should you go away for a year? Relegation, an argument to be had. Dr. Garrett's going to join us. We're looking at injuries going into the All-Star break and headed toward the home stretch of the NBA season. And also head coach of your UTSA Roadrunners, Steve Henson, will join us as we got to see one of his better players last night go get an NIL deal and a haircut. Jacob Germany from UTSA out with the boys that were out at the boardroom, brand new men's salon out at 1604 and I-10. I went out there, man. It looked good.
It was a nice view. I didn't get to go out there, but I saw Jason's video. Really nice place. Really nice.
It was almost, I felt like I didn't even belong there. It was so nice. Go in there, get yourself a nice snifter brandy.
Rob.
Sit back in there, play a little pool, hang out.
Have a little whiskey.
Sit back with the guys in the smoking room.
Do they have a smoking
room? No, they don't. I felt like they should.
I was about to sign up on the membership. Oh, no, I'll get it. I don't have any smoking memberships. You'd be surprised. You'd think I would, but I don't.
But there's enough where you don't need to, though. You got places that cater to.
I need to get one.
Your ilk.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. This is R&R in the Morning. You lucky devils are on San Antonio Sports Star. We're on ESPN AM 1250 and that brand new frequency 1033 FM.
When will they play ball? Will they play ball? The MLB lockout continues, and we're following it all the way to opening day. If that happens, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Guys, did you know that starting around age 30, men's testosterone levels can decline naturally? As a result, you may experience low energy, lack of focus, problems in the bedroom, or even depression. If that's you, then it's time to rethink your health. The solution? Testosterone replacement therapy with Synergenics. It's easy. Just take the test at one of our clinics in the San Antonio area. For more info and to schedule an appointment, head over to 800lowt.com today and get your life back.
Well, Joel, it's my favorite time of the year.
Half off at the Short and Ugly store?
No, and that hurt. It's rodeo time, and I've got the best quarter moon marketing idea ever.
Here we go again.
It's all about branding, so I've got this. It's called a branding iron.
Nigel, have you lost your mind? Do you even know how a branding iron works?
Well, sort of.
Folks, you don't need a branding iron to remember Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Just remember our phone number, 651-5899. When your home's AC or heater gets sick like Nigel on a rodeo merry-go-round, give us a call. We can set up a maintenance plan that won't leave you burned. Quarter Moon has the expertise, local talent, and fast, reliable service.
So how does the branding iron work?
Well, are those new pants?
Yes, why?
Turn around.
Turn around my...
License number M13229 TACLA 000743445E.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. With Staples Print Big Promise, your small business marketing will make a big impact. And right now, get 20% off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 2/26. Visit staples.com/signage for details.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on them.
Tyler's cleaning crew knows every housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a nature show host.
In the native habitat of a suburban driveway, the poor victim of a broken windshield is left assessing his vehicle, utterly helpless.
Well, not true. If he's got Geico, he can file a claim online, over the phone, or with his handy mobile app.
But like a lone gazelle, he'll suddenly be left to fend for himself, awaiting his terrible fate.
Nope. Geico will assign him a designated claims team to help him out, too.
So the gazelle gets his car fixed and everything. Wow, nature is so cool.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
It's a buffet of sports.
But you're gonna have to drag me out of here.
Grab lunch with Michael Jimenez on halftime. Today at noon, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
This is Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix and I will get you caught up on the latest news, moves, and more this afternoon, 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
News, moves, and more. That's what I think of when I think of Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. That's the Blitz. It gets going at 4 today. They'll be back in the confines of the Radio Ranch. They were out at the boardroom yesterday. Hope you went by and saw them. Got all slicked up. Got a fancy haircut. So Charles Barkley, his contract with TBS will expire in 2 years, and he was asked yesterday when he thought he would retire. He said probably when his contract expires, he might hang it up.
He said, I don't want to die next to Shaq's fat ass. I don't want to die on television.
You know, and
I don't believe him, Rob.
I don't either. Man,
like, you can do that job till you're 90.
That's cake. And he doesn't have a payroll to meet, but he does have a couple of markers in Vegas always outstanding. I mean, he does. Man
They're
likes
out
to
of
spend some
Atlanta,
money.
though, right?
Atlanta. They go. He flies to Atlanta. He lives in Scottsdale, I believe.
Yes. Now, the one thing I wouldn't mind seeing Chuck retire from, the March Madness.
Yeah, he's awful.
The March Madness.
He doesn't know.
The March Madness, like me, Barkley don't even watch NBA, let alone college. But I know why they do it, because it's a break. And they're not doing it for those guys' expertise. They're doing it like, hey, man,
this be you.
Yo, just do what y'all normally do, okay? Don't worry about it. You need anything? Okay, good. We're on in 3, 2. You know what I mean? Barkley, he literally doesn't watch the game they have on that night. Like on Thursdays, like Shaq and Kenny have called him out like, dude, you slept for the last 2 hours. Well, what are you talking about the game for? So I know he's not watching Tennessee versus Kentucky.
But
would you watch without Barkley?
That's the question. Is he the most irreplaceable desk guy in sports?
Ooh, yes.
Because there's no replacement for Barkley out there, because he is right on the edge. He goes over it, but he never goes too far, but he takes you along for the ride. And he is the perfect foil for Shaq.
I think I love Shaq. I love Kenny. I love Ernie. I think Ernie is like the perfect host for that show. I don't know how he maintains control, but he does it. He maintains control because they respect him.
Right.
But if there's a replacement for Barkley, he hasn't been on that show yet. It's not. And again, I don't have nothing against D Wade, Candace Parker. They had T-Mac that day. Like, I have nothing against the people that they've brought in. But if there's someone to replace Barkley, he has not been on that set yet.
Hey,
that's going to be a tough. If he retires in 2 years, that's a tough replacement.
Yeah, he's a
They win
professional pot
Emmys. They
stirrer.
win Emmys every year.
And it's unscripted, and you said it. It's all Ernie. Ernie is the ringmaster here.
He's awesome.
And nothing happens without him allowing that to happen. But if you lose Barkley, I don't see how you can keep Shaq. If Shaq is unchecked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could go in a direction I'm not sure anybody wants to go, because sometimes Barkley at least is saying things that have a merit, have a little bit of merit to it. Sometimes Shaq just throws things out.
I was telling Kenny
with no
we
basis.
have rings. It's always back to the rings. I feel bad for Chuck, because Shaq really goes hard on him sometimes. Like, what do you know? You didn't win. I won. Like, damn, Shaq, we know.
After the season that Jacksonville had,
the Jaguars. We talking about them?
Well, I'm just saying, when you think of the worst teams in the NFL, there is no pain involved with being awful. Only pain is involved is which of the number one picks are you going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there should be some pain involved. Maybe there should never be a situation where an NFL owner will pay his coach to lose, because if you lose enough, maybe you should get relegated. Let's talk about it coming up. They do it around the world. Why doesn't the NFL do it? The NFL and all these young burgeoning leagues, maybe there's a partnership that can benefit both, and relegation might be the answer. We'll look at that and a myriad of guests. Dr. Jason Garrett will be here. Steve Henson will be as well. So you need to stay where you are, and that's on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Texas Cheer Liquor is up to 4 locations, and I word yesterday that the 5th, the ink is almost dry on number 5, but sit tight. I'll give you the details on that when I get them, but the ink is almost dry. 2 locations are on Petranco. One is across from Walmart. The other is past 211. The third is at Highway 90 in Montgomery, and those busy guys of the Blitz, I mean, they were just at the boardroom last night, and then Thursday, actually tomorrow afternoon, 4 to 7, they will be at Texas Cheer Liquor number 3 off of Highway 90 in Montgomery. Go out there. He brings out, AD brings out the good stuff when Joe shows up. I'm talking about bottles you never seen, bottles that were barreled in the ocean, the big brother to the Blantons. I'm like, oh, I've never seen these bottles. Joe Reiniger shows up and you bring out the good stuff. So if you want to get some good stuff tasting, I would suggest you go out to Highway 90 in Montgomery tomorrow, Texas Cheer Liquor number 3, sometime in between 4 to 7. Meet the guys of the Blitz. Go hang out for a little bit. Purchase you a little something. I've also seen, and I had no idea it was such a craze. He told me, he said, hey man, I got these seltzers in. I need you to tweet them out for me because they go pretty quick. It's the Happy Dad seltzers. Now, he told me this on, what's today? He told me this on Monday, and he had about let's just say 40 cases. He's down to like 5. Didn't know the Happy Dad seltzer was so popular. So, well, anyways, they're almost gone. And he said they're going to be restocked. So if you know about the Happy Dad movement and you're a seltzer guy, you watching your figure, I know the seltzers are for you workout freaks and you watching your carbs and things like that. I'll keep you posted when the Happy Dad's back in, because people were coming through and they were buying 5-6 cases at a time. And don't forget, Texas Cheer Liquor number 4 is at the Palo Alto exit. What is that? Patron Plaza Shopping Center, and it's right next to Walmart. Beer, wine, liquor, cigars, they got it all. But don't forget tomorrow, the Blitz, 4 to 7, Highway 90 Montgomery, Texas Cheer Liquor number 3. Go download the app. And if you want to just peruse or peruse the website, go to TexasCheerLiquor.com.
Come on, you gloomy guy. There's no reason to be sad. The NFL isn't over. It's just starting.
Hey, listen up.
Dry those eyes, blow your nose, and pay attention. There's tons of football on the way. Free agency, retirements, trades, the combine, the draft, OTAs, mini camps, injuries, training camp, and a whole lot more. Cheer up. There's a lot of NFL, and we're on top of all of it. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
When it comes to Twin Peaks beverages, they take things pretty seriously, which is why over the last few months they've been innovating, they've been creating, and they've created an elevated drink menu that is something for everyone. Their newest creations have already hit the bar. Get ready for additions like the Pink Whitney with pink lemonade vodka by the Spittin' Chicklets Group, the Termana Silver, one of Dwayne Rock Johnson's premium tequilas. Cheers! Twins! Eats are fantastic. Drinks, they're icy cold. And oh, those scenic views.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations, so you get the product you're looking for. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With thousands of dollars in new tax credits this year, Jackson Hewitt understands there's a lot at stake this tax season. We have 102 reasons to switch to a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro, like giving you $100 just to switch. So that's 100. Then we'll track down every last tax credit so you get every dollar you deserve. That's 101. Finally, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund. That's 102. Want to discover 103? Book an appointment at a participating location near you. Offer ends March 6th. Available at participating retail locations for new clients only. Mention this ad when filing. Terms apply. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for details.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has always known. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The minute you step behind the wheel of an all-new Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, you'll know it was made to make a statement, because it's a beast. Equipped with a 437 horsepower iForce Max hybrid engine made for making power moves. Plus, available cockpit red interior with a technical camel pattern made to deliver a red carpet-like experience. Not to mention an in-grille LED light bar made to make you stand out from the crowd. The all-new Tundra TRD Pro, made to make a statement. Toyota, let's go places.
Streaming now. Bel-Air, a new Peacock original series. Where are we going?
You're going to stay with your aunt and your uncle.
From executive producer Will Smith and Westbrook Studios.
Do you know why I'm here from Philly? Scrap on the bull court, got nasty.
You get one shot.
Give this a real chance. So you can show these rich people how much you care about poor black kids from the hood.
At a second chance.
Why are we working so hard to save a boy who doesn't want to be saved?
Because we owe it to him.
There's no going back.
Bel-Air, streaming now with new episodes every Thursday, only on Peacock.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Live, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 103.3 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti is around the corner. Then we'll speak with Steve Henson, your head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, as they in the midst of their conference season. But first, let's talk a little bit of football. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, that is being produced by Karl. So I threw something up on Facebook. I saw this posted by, I believe, the Black Adam Schefter. I'm not sure which one posted. I want to give whoever credit was. But essentially, it was a model of the English Premier League that would be applied to the NFL, where the last place team in the NFL every season would be relegated to the new whatever league is going to work, whether it's the USFL, the XFL, the Alliance of American Football, whatever spring league or whatever young league finally takes hold, and I do believe one will, that finally we'll put ourselves in a situation that has worked for the rest of the world, though it seems completely counter to everything we do in American sports. And that is not reward being awful with the best pick, but reward being awful with joining other awful teams.
Fight for your life.
You got to be good to stay good.
Well, we don't have XFL, right? No more.
We don't. Well,
what do we have?
Do.
We have something.
We have the USFL is returning into its glory this year, but we've had attempts with The Rock and the XFL, and there's some remnants of some other leagues. I firmly believe, after my brief experience inside the new young league and the Alliance League, that there is a market. There is a desire. There's a desire from the TV side of things to get this thing going. I do believe it'll finally work. The NFL has yet to kiss it, though. The NFL has yet to say we're down with any of this stuff. They want to control their workforce. They don't want to have to compete with anybody, even if it's considered a lesser league. But if you consider the possibilities of, say, a team like Jacksonville,
tell them how it works,
or a terrible football team, if you end up in last place, you have to go to another league the following year, one, to get better,
keep your status in the league,
and two, to pay the price for being a poorly run franchise.
So what do? You play the bet. You would have the Jags play the best team from the USFL,
and the winner
gets the spot.
The winner gets the spot, or you could play for draft picks. You could do something, but there needs to be something for that last place team, other than just being last, tanking, and getting the number 1 draft pick.
I agree with that. I don't mind the idea. Again, they do it in the most popular sport in the world. Newsflash, is soccer, and they do it in the most popular league in the world, which is the Premier League, where if you're bad, you might lose your spot for a year. So I mean, hell, I think NBA, MLB, NFL, they all should adopt it. You know, whoever it is, Sacramento Kings, you've been in last place for the last, whoever it is, I don't know, Detroit, been in last place for the last 2 years. You got to play the Ignite, and if the Ignite beats you, they get your spot for that year. I mean, they can't do no worse than you have. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, it'll never happen because NFL owners and everything that goes along with it, but it's not a bad idea.
Well, there's a timing issue. We're just playing with this, but the
idea,
of course,
we're having fun. Right,
the worst place team in the NFL, the worst team, plays the champion of the XFL. The XFL team wins; they get to go to the league.
Now, does Jacksonville have to win the league to come back?
They have to do something. Now, we can figure that out. what exactly would they have to
Like,
do?
so not only could you lose your spot, but then you got to go and win it to get back.
You probably should have to win the league.
Which Jacksonville should win the XFL or the USFL, right?
Better.
You should win that.
And then would they have to then win against the worst NFL team the following year to get back in the door? See, we could have something pretty interesting.
But see, that's entertainment.
Yes.
I would watch that.
It wouldn't be the Super Bowl, but it would be a lot of fun to watch.
But you want to see that.
Yes.
Especially when you got to come back. Like, okay, Jacksonville, now y'all got to play the Bears to get back in. The Bears on the brink of going to the XFL. So
but you would have to have
that would be super cool
partnership between the two leagues.
They would have to be on the same page.
Literally a partnership 50-50, or at least as much as the lesser league can take, because you'd have to distribute funds. It would be a veritable death to Jacksonville if they lost all that NFL TV money and still had to pay Trevor or all their superstars. They couldn't do it. They'd have to be able to take some of that money with them to the XFL. And that would mean, or whatever that other league is, and that would mean a true partnership, because they would step in highly funded, but highly talented, and it should be easy for them to go through a season and get back. But do we want to waste a year of greatness with those? Let's say Trevor's numbers count in the XFL. There's all those little questions that would have to be answered.
I think the fix would be, I don't think I want to, because it would be the same thing if you bring up the XFL team. So I don't think you bring up the XFL team, Jacksonville's gone.
So you play with one less team
in the league? You just play with one less team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jay. You just play with one less team. You play with one less team. It's just like, now Jason Garcia let us know it's the bottom 4 in the EPL.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying,
dude,
here,
that's
we couldn't
crazy.
Do it.
No, we could do 4. I don't want to see 4 teams gone. But then you don't have Stephen Ross, allegedly, offering $100,000 for losses. Then you don't have the situation that went on in Cincinnati, allegedly, where it's like, they kind of pretty much let me know we were tanking. So if you don't do that, Rob, the only other fix is you got to go to the lottery. You got to go to the ping pong balls like the NBA.
Have you ever watched the series All or Nothing on Amazon?
Never heard of it.
A couple years back, I found one that was, I can't remember the Premier League team it was, but it went through the season where they ended up getting relegated.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awful. Can you imagine your favorite franchise is considered so bad that you're not even allowed to play with your friends? You got to go pick new friends. I mean, it was the devastation that the small soccer town went through from being relegated, because the difficulty in coming back is so hard to get back into the league. The money lost, the players lost. It was beyond humiliating. It wasn't quite the death
Did you
penalty.
Watch the whole series?
I watched enough to kind of get the gist of what being relegated truly means. And it's humiliating. It's embarrassing to every fan. That's far beyond just not being in the big leagues on getting to play on and seeing your guys against the other goods. It's like, oh my gosh, we are that bad. And they took it that way. I mean, there were special church services. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, it was an awful scenario. We got Dr. Garrett coming our direction and Coach Henson.
Quite a few injuries to ask about him.
Yeah. When we're starting to get some word about the injuries that went on in the Super Bowl, and I'm particularly interested in what Weddle went through, because he took a shot at the Chargers coming back.
Did he?
He did a little bit of the shot, and he got medicated. He torn his pec in 2 different places.
Yes, and he played 3 quarters like that.
It is hard to comprehend.
I got to ask Doc, what is that like? Because most guys, when they blow up their pec, like where you see it at the weight room or wherever, you immediately, I know Pledge messed his pec up. You mess your pec up, normally you're done. So I don't know if he was able to ride the adrenaline. I'm be interested to ask Doc about what it feels like. Well, I don't know if he knows, but what you go through normally when you tear your pec. I don't think you're supposed to play 3 more quarters against Jamar Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. I don't know if you're supposed to do that.
It is truly unfathomable. Just the ability to even move your arm. Let's talk about it. That one that would know. His name is Dr. Jason Garrett. He is with Rusty, and it's time for his weekly. Doc, welcome aboard, sir. Glad to have you back.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to talking to you guys.
What's been going on, man? How's things going over there at the Rusty World? Everything going? Y'all busy? What's going on?
Yeah, things are picking back up. I think the pandemic is hopefully on its way out. I'm making a prediction that the pandemic will officially be over within 6 weeks, and then it just will be an endemic, something that we've got to learn to live with.
That's the best news we could hear. As we come out of the Super Bowl, obviously the injury of note was Odell's. It appears that he did blow the knee, and now we're looking at a long rehab process, especially when it's the same knee just 2 years removed with that ACL. As a guy who's worked with a lot of guys getting back into the game, when you see the same injury on the same knee, is it different rehab? Do you do things differently, or is it the same idea regardless of repetitive injury to the same joint?
Well, Rob, you know from personal experience, anytime you have a knee surgery, you're never the same. You're always going to have pain, dysfunction. It's just not the same. When you do the same thing twice, it compounds. So you imagine an ACL surgery, people don't think it's that big of a deal. It is a big deal. They put literally, 1.5-inch long screws into your tibia. They drill holes through your femur. So there's stuff in there that they got to take out and replace. So that causes even more damage, more scar tissue. And let alone, let's say he makes a miraculous recovery. He comes back, everything's strong, he's fast. The psychological component of tearing the same knee twice in a non-contact injury, just planting wrong while running, it sits in the back of your head forever. It's going to take him a long time to feel really comfortable with that knee.
Yeah, and a lot of guys now are coming out I don't know, when y'all are when you're at your CrossFit games, Doc, what kind of turf or grass is on? There's a lot has been made on lower extremity injuries on this fake grass, and there's data that shows there's a higher risk of injury on this fake grass turf / stuff. Any experience in that out there at the CrossFit games? Do y'all normally bring in the fake grass, or is it normally real grass?
They use both. So historically, they've used grass fields for some of the events, and then they use a built-in turf, just like the NFL fields. Now, the difference with CrossFit is there's not a lot of lateral movement. It's pretty much all straight line running, whereas football, soccer, things like that, there's tons of cutting. You're changing direction, speed, acceleration, deceleration. And so when you have a surface that's artificial, even though you're used to it, if it doesn't react like normal grass, there's a good chance that if you plant wrong, your ACL just explodes.
Damn. Now, Weddle, they called him out of retirement, hadn't played in 750 days. He comes back, has a great playoffs. Goes for a lower tackle on, I want to say it was Mixon in the first quarter. Well, when he did that, he tore his pec in 2 different places and finished the game. What torn pec, in your experience with torn pecs, is that normal to be able to finish a football game after tearing it in 2 places?
So normally when people do tear their pec, the normal way they tear it is they rip the tendon off the bone, off the humerus. And when they do that, it balls up in their chest, and it's disfiguring. There's no way you can possibly function. But if you tear it in the middle of a muscle, kind of like a hamstring tear, like if you tear your hamstring in the middle of the muscle, it doesn't come off the bone and doesn't ball up. It's just you got a couple tears. And so that's more than likely what happened. He tore it in the middle, but didn't rip it off the bone. So, I mean, when you've got the Super Bowl on the line, you haven't played in that long, this is your probably last chance. I think you push through whatever you can.
They showed him putting on that shoulder harness to try to protect that or to, I guess, limit the movement. But can you really do much with a harness when we're dealing with that kind of pec? And when obviously he had to take some sort of pain
at halftime,
something to slow that down. When you're talking about a torn muscle, isn't there the threat of it getting worse? And I know this was the last game of his career. He was going to retire regardless. But when you see that and you know that you're dealing with that kind of pain and they got the harness in, would that be enough to eliminate the possibility of even making it worse?
No, it'll definitely, you still have a good chance of making it worse. Those braces are great, but they're not magic. There's a good chance that you're going to make it way, way worse. So, but when you're talking about football, you can hit someone and bring them down without having to wrap up. There's just no way he could wrap up with that arm. So he could still pulverize people, but just not be able to hold them back as they're turning on him.
Yeah, you said it rolls up. Now, what my buddy Doc, when he blew his Achilles, he said he could feel it rolling up his like toward his calf. Is that kind of the same dynamic with the pec?
Yeah, exactly. If you guys want to Google some videos, just Google pec tears and watch. I mean, you'll literally see it's like those big bodybuilder guys when they're doing
that's them. Yes.
Tears. It literally looks like a ham rolls up on their chest.
Oh,
I mean, it's nasty. It's pretty bad.
Serves him right for
I don't
getting
know
all
if I'm gonna
buff
go-
like that.
well, when you juiced out of your mind, sometimes it gets too tight.
Getting all swollen like that. He is Dr. Jason Garrett of Veracity joining us. You know, I think that we talk Achilles tendon, and to me that always felt like the last bastion of the injuries that that you couldn't fix. Once you blew an Achilles, a lot of careers were just over, just like knees back in the 80s. And that's been fixed. Guys can come back from that. I guess the last frontier is the lower back. That's the last frontier of will you? It still seems like a 50-50 proposition. Michael Porter Jr. with the Denver Nuggets has gone and had back issues since his 1 year in college and since. And he went back in and had some other surgery. Now he's being cleared to work out again. When you're dealing with that kind of issue with an athlete like that, and certainly the tension and the torsion is probably doubled when you're dealing with a 6'10" guy as opposed to a 5'10" guy. What do you do? How do you manage that? And what muscles are you strengthening to help that kind of lower back issue that Porter has been dealing with? Because obviously this is going to be part of what he has to do to stay in the game for the rest of his career.
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I'll try to answer it as succinctly as I can, but I mean, it is a dynamic answer. There are so many things that can cause low back pain. It can come from your ankles, instability in your knees. You could have too much torque in your hips. Your hips could be rotated, one forward, one back. You could have just a terrible spine. It's too vertical. It doesn't have enough lumbar curve. So really identifying where the dysfunction is and then strengthening the heck out of their core, making sure that that's as bulletproof as possible. Because some of these guys are so athletic, they never really had to have a stable core, or they've got imbalances everywhere because they can get away with it with their athletic acumen because they're such good athletes that they never really had to build that structure from the beginning. So the guys that have those chronic things, they almost have to go back to the very beginning, find a really good movement specialist, and strengthen the heck out of all those things that have imbalances.
What's the next big event you got, Doc?
Heading back to Boulder next week for some more CrossFit stuff, and then heading to Ohio and then Tennessee for the same things.
Ohio, you going to the Arnold? You going to the Arnold, or is that Ohio, or is that something you doing something CrossFit?
Some CrossFit, although there's a big CrossFit competition at the Arnold. It's a humongous event. And then we just got back from Vegas a couple days ago. We were there last week.
Yeah, now see, when you were with us last time, you told us you were doing something top secret. Anything you can let out the bag yet?
I can't yet. It should be out next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, it should be aired.
So you're gonna break it on our show?
We got
we got breaking news.
Aired. It was something that we will see via the media. And once you see Jason Garrett, you'll see why he was in front of a camera, because he looks better than we do on radio. Dr. Jason Garrett, he of Veracity, joins us every week. And when you hear him talking about lower back issues, for those of you that are suffering through lower back issues, I've had that problem as a basketball player. Go to a Veracity. Go. I've never had anything even come remotely close to the relief that I felt when I went to a Veracity. And not only that, they taught me how to stay out of pain. And that's why you go. Dr. Garrett, that's why we have you here. Thanks for stopping by this week. Continued success on your top secret media ventures. We will see you next Wednesday. Take care, Doc.
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy.
Dr. Garrett, good dude, man.
Yeah, awesome dude.
We all want to live the life that Dr. Garrett's living. Going to all those CrossFit stuff, going around the country, seeing that cool things, and running with a Veracity.
Yeah, them CrossFit dudes are different mentally. Like, anybody can get buff, but like, you got to go to a different place mentally to push your body through the limits, some of the stuff. Because sometimes they get to these competitions and you have no idea that they're about to make you swim a mile and then do 1,000 burpees and then pull yourself up on a rope 30 feet, touch the top, and then scale back down. Like, you got to be a little bit off. You got to be a little bit off to qualify. Even qualify in just your region. To get to the CrossFit Games, I don't think people understand how many things you have to go through just to get to the big dog event where Doc Garrett goes to, man. Those guys are special for sure.
It's all those personal bests. Those guys look inside.
Yes.
We're going to talk some basketball with Coach Steve Henson coming up. But before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about Connecticut Water Systems. I got to meet the good folks over at Connecticut just a couple of hours. Well, it seems like just a couple of hours ago. Let me tell you something. for those of us that live in San Antonio, or you're new to San Antonio, a water softener might not have been anything you ever considered until you got into your new house and you started looking at all the things that water touches. And clean, pure water touches your stuff a little bit different than your typical South Texas water, which is loaded with limestone and all those different things. And that's why Connecticut is just about a must-have in San Antonio, because the water is hard. Sometimes without a water softener, you've ever stood in front of those showers, it's like being sandblasted. You want to look at your house and see if you've got a good water softener. I want you to pull the toilet bowl lid off the top of that tank. Look at the bottom. Do you have a bunch of settlement, a bunch of sediment there at the bottom? That's an issue. And if your glass is coming out, they look all foggy, that's an issue. Or maybe all those whites that you have are suddenly getting a little bit dingier and dingier. That's an issue. I'm talking to you guys that are living there, thinking about a water softener and watching things slowly degrade until you have to go buy a new washing machine, till you got to go buy a new dishwasher because they are chock full of chalk and limestone. Water softeners are a must in San Antonio, and if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right, and that is with Connecticut. First of all, your laundry's going to come out brighter. Your hair's going to be cleaner. Your skin is going to be softer. Trust me, I just spent a couple months without it. There is a huge difference between the two. Now, the reason Connecticut is different, the reason South Texas chooses Connecticut over anybody else is the science behind it. There's no computer. There's no plug-in. There's no buttons to push. There's no timers to set. It works with science. It's kinetic water softening. Soft water is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You get an outstanding warranty there, and they've got a great program. If you're not sure you need one, let me tell you, you do, but you can prove it to yourself with no risk. They'll bring one out and put it in your house. You can find out what it means to you, and if you don't like it, hey, they'll come and get it. But try Connecticut for 90 days with no contract, no fee. Think about this. If you haven't done this, your house is in danger. Your pipes are in danger. And you might as well open up a revolving credit account with your favorite big retailer, because you're going to be buying a lot of dishwashers. You're going to be buying a lot of washing machines because that water just clogs it up. Think about all the soap scum you won't have to deal with on the bathtub. I had to deal with that. Go get a water softener. And if you're going to do it right. That is Connecticut, and try it free for 90 days. Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. It's the last water softener you'll ever even think about, because it works constantly. You'll minimize all the issues. You'll have water waiting for you 24 hours a day, and you get the expertise of Connecticut. They're San Antonio. That's who they are, and they take care of San Antonians. I am proud to have a Connecticut system, and you should too. Outstanding warranty coverage. They are there long after you meet with them first. Compare their warranty and other water treatment products with anybody else. You won't find a more solid warranty in the industry, and they want you to try it for with no risk, no free, no contract for 90 days. Give them a call. This is the number you need. Dial it right now, 656-PURE, 656-PURE. These are good people doing good things at Connecticut, and I want that for you. Call them today, and I am sure you'll thank me later.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
March is around the corner, and it showed last night with two great college basketball games from Texas schools. In Norman, Oklahoma, number 20 Texas edged out OU in overtime, 80-78. Andrew Jones and Timmy Allen both had 20 points to help UT get the rivalry win. In College Station, the Aggies defeated the University of Florida 56-55 thanks to 3 clutch free throws in a row from Wade Taylor IV, with 19.3 seconds left to put Texas A&M ahead for the final score. The Dallas Mavericks started their 5-game road swing on the right foot by defeating the Miami Heat 107-99. Luka Doncic had 21 points to lead the Mavs to the win. And the Spurs will continue the rodeo road trip in Oklahoma City with a 7 p.m. tip-off against the Thunder. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Selman.
The San Antonio Home and Garden Show is coming up February 25th through the 27th, and the Window Source of San Antonio would love to see you there. We'll be there hoping homeowners just like you get quality windows at the price you deserve. Come by our booth and mention ESPN, and we'll knock off an additional 5%. Isn't it time you let them old windows go? Call the Window Source of San Antonio right now, 210-880-3021. That's 210-880-3021. Come visit our showroom at 6800 Fairgrounds Parkway, or visit us at windowsourceofsa.com.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time without the unnecessary fees. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is R&R in the Morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
All right, back here on R&R in the Morning. Rudy J, Karl Schoenig. And right now, we missed them last week. It was Super Bowl week. It was a hectic week. We're out in L.A., so apologies first off to Coach Henson. But we're joined right now by the UTSA Roadrunners head basketball coach, Mr. Steve Henson. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. How you guys doing today?
We're good, man. How's your weekend? You a Super Bowl guy? You watch Super Bowl? Or you too busy breaking down film? Did you get to watch the game? You have any time? Were y'all on the road? How was your weekend?
Absolutely. No, originally our league scheduled a bunch of games on Sunday. We were scheduled to play Western Kentucky on Sunday. But they called a few weeks ago. They had a makeup game they needed to pick up, and we're trying to get in it on Monday. So they called and asked if we could move our game to Saturday. And that worked better for us anyway. So, yeah, we played Western Kentucky on Saturday. And Sunday was our day off. So, yeah, we did it upright, had some food and watched the game. And Chiefs weren't in it, but other than that, it was a good deal.
So you're Chiefs. Okay, so you're Chiefs fan. So, what's crazy, Coach, is I might have jinxed y'all because after y'all played Buffalo, or after the Chiefs played Buffalo, I was like, to me, it felt like that was the Super Bowl. I was like, I don't know who's beating the Chiefs in Kansas City, but you being a coach, you know, in one game, anything can happen, and anything happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but how about the overall the playoff, the games? How many of them are just right down the line?
I know.
Plays down the stretch. I watched probably more NFL this year than I have most years, but there was some incredible games down the stretch.
Yeah. So you got Southern Miss. You got Southern Miss coming up Thursday, and then you got Louisiana Tech Saturday. So break it down for the listeners. So like when that's like that, and you got a back-to-back road, do y'all just stay on the road? You just go from Southern Miss straight to Louisiana?
Yes, we do. We do. It's pretty common the way our league has been set up the last, since I've been here is you're going to have a Thursday, Saturday at home, and then the following week's going to be Thursday, Saturday on the road. We have travel partners, so UTEP's our travel partner. So when we go this week, we will head out to Southern Miss first. UTEP will head to La Tech first, and then on Friday we flip-flop and travel. And some of the teams in our league charter, which gives them a big advantage. UTEP's one of them, so they'll play Thursday night, probably charter right on into Hattiesburg. We'll play Thursday night in Hattiesburg and spend the night and get up and bus to La Tech. So it's one of the longer bus rides, but our guys get used to it. They know the deal on Fridays. And a lot of these places, it's not that that we're choosing to bus, it's just easier than flying. You know, that's so remote. By the time we bus to an airport, and then fly, and then bus again on the backside of it. So Fridays, we've talked about this for years, are real important days because we're going to travel and have one day to prepare for the upcoming opponent. So those are pretty important days for us.
You know, but you're on to something there, Coach, and I kind of agree with you. And with you all going to the AAC shortly, is the whole charter thing, will that become more important, or is it just as important now? Like, talk to me about going forward. How does that go as far as recruiting, travel, just anything? You know?
Yeah, it's a big part of it. I mean, obviously, it's a tremendous cost associated with it. And in our league, there's a handful of teams that do charter. Some charter every trip. Some charter just when school's in session. You know, these types of Thursday, Saturday deals. So you miss less class time if you charter.
Right.
Certainly easier wear and tear. You know, San Antonio's an incredible city, incredible airport, but there's not many direct flights out of San Antonio either. So not only are we a lot of times flying, but we always have the connections. You know, it seems like we're almost always connecting through Dallas and Houston, and that just takes a toll on you over the course of 8 or 9 road trips during the year.
Hey, Coach, I will say it for you. Coach, this is me. This is not Coach Henson. Our airport situation is awful, Coach. I said it, not you. It's awful.
It's easy. We just need more direct flights. That's all.
Yeah. Our afternoon show, they call the Blitz. They're on 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Coach, they had an opportunity to sit down with Jacob Germany last night. Talk to me a little bit about this. Is he legit 6'11"? Because I know sometimes, you know, they say these guys are 6'11" and they get to the combine and we find out they're 6'8". Talk to me a little bit about Mr. Germany.
Well, I don't know his exact height. Well enough that I feel comfortable calling him 6'11". Yeah, he probably at the combine will come up just short of that. But man, what a talented guy. I mean, offensively, he can do a little bit of everything. He's just an athlete, you know.
Right.
He's agile. He's got great hands, great hand-eye coordination. I mean, he can hit a golf ball right-handed, left-handed. He was a pitcher in high school. So yeah, a lot of times some of those guys, you know, they're big and they can play and they can impact the game, but they just don't have the fluidity that he's got, the natural instincts, and he's just real graceful on the offensive end. We're still trying to get him to, block more shots and impact ball screens defensively, but on the offensive end, he's terrific.
And where he was out, our afternoon show, they were out at this place called Boardroom. It's like a men's grooming place, and he's doing an NIL deal with them. And I say that to ask you about NIL. Like, so again, when you're in sports, you're gonna coach guys from all backgrounds, and you're gonna coach some guys that, you know, come from a background where they may not have much. So explain to me and the listeners, like, can you as a coach, like, actively go out and try and get NILs for your players, or is that just has to come naturally? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's
you know, like, can you go out and be like, hey, I got a relationship with such and such. Here is, here's you can't do that.
Agents, we can't serve the agents. We can't broker the deals, anything like that. Certainly on the recruiting end, you get into all kinds of different situations. But with our current players, for the most part, we're trying to educate them. They need to kind of take the lead and run with it. When this started, there was the belief that the student athletes that were very active on social media would have a lot of opportunities. Not that has been the case. Early on, a lot of the female student athletes, the belief was they were going to get more NIL opportunities. Maybe not higher dollar amounts, but more opportunities because some of them had a great feel for the social media piece of it. So we're constantly learning, constantly new things popping up with it. But what we try to do is educate our guys the best that we can, encourage them to go out and pursue those opportunities because there are some available. We also want them to be realistic, and they're going to read about the handful of guys that are making big money, big time football players at big time schools are making, substantial money. But when you study the numbers, it's really not the case. There's a lot of kids getting small deals across the country, males and females, all sports. But it's not a huge amount. I mean, about every little bit counts for some of these kids. So we want them to pursue those opportunities when they can.
I was curious, Coach. There's, all across the country, little nonprofits popping up. In UTSA's case, not affiliated with UTSA, is the Runners Rising Project. I just found out about them, and they're like an NIL fund to, I guess, try and channel money towards UTSA athletes. I know y'all aren't allowed to have relationships with those, but as they start to pop up, I don't know if are there any rules on how that needs to be handled? From the official UTSA side, or are they just kind of allowed to communicate with the players, and as long as it goes through compliance, it's all good?
Yeah, compliance is in a crazy spot right now because there's just so many different beliefs on how all this is supposed to go down. It started gaining traction years ago that something like this was going to come down, and the NCAA didn't get out in front of it quickly enough, and so then it was kind of reactionary mode by everybody. So a lot of athletic departments have created and hired groups to help support, help educate, help deal with the NIL. But yeah, then there are also the people on the outside that are setting things up. Some schools have already set up. They're real clear with what they're doing. They're setting up like LLCs and just know that maybe one sport, every single athlete is going to get X number of dollars. So there's a lot of ways you can go with this. I saw some stuff this week pop up with, I guess it was one of the SEC football programs, and just taking it to the next level. So it's happening. Everybody knows what's going on. Is everyone on the same page at this point? I would say no. I mean, I just think you're going to get a lot of different interpretations from lawmakers, from compliance officers. It's just a tough deal. But it's
a lot of red tape, Coach.
It's just unbelievable. Yeah, and again, kids have to be educated because they're going to have to pay taxes. They're going to have to be prepared for some different things that they haven't dealt with in certain cases. So
I didn't even think about the 1099 aspect of it. There is that.
And you have to run everything through compliance. Like, you can't just say, "Hey, here's $50. You mind stopping by?"
Yeah.
Yeah. There has to be, something done to receive the money. Whether it's an autograph session, whether it's a camp, whether it's, there needs to be something done there. And so, at the minimum, yes, the kids need to everything that they're doing needs to be documented and go through our compliance office.
Okay. Joined by Coach Henson of the UTSA Roadrunners basketball team. We got 5 games left, Coach. What are you looking for? What do y'all be working toward these last 5 games to gear up? And because at this point, the possibility to get to the tournament, you're gonna have to win the Conference USA tournament. What are you looking for to get better at? And first of all, stay healthy, of course, but other than that, what are y'all guys going to be working toward to kind of gear up for the conference tournament?
Yeah, we feel like there's been progress. I think people that know basketball, that have watched us the last few weeks, can see that. Offensively, the ball's moving better. We put ourselves in position to beat Western the other day. Western came in here. They got off to a little slow start in league play.
That was a tough game. Yeah, that was a tough game.
Yeah, but they came in hot. They'd won three previous games easily. Came in here, and with 3.5 minutes to go, we were up 1. And had 3 possessions where we got pretty good shots and didn't convert. They went the other end and got to the free throw line on the other end of the floor. So we're closer offensively. We're closer defensively. We were making some strides. We went on the road trip since we talked last and had those 3 great road games. And defense wasn't quite as good on that road trip, but still feel like we're in position. We're, with the exception of Jordan Ivy Curry, he got hurt on the road trip and missed the Western Kentucky game, our leading scorer. So we're going to miss him probably on Thursday as well.
Ouch.
But the other guys are moving the ball. We're getting better shots. Eric Zumbell, who's been struggling from the 3 this year, knocked down 4 3-pointers in that game the other day. That was so good to see. Free him up a little bit. Some other guys have stepped up. So I feel like we're making progress. We need to get the win. Our guys we're on a losing streak, and it's tough, and it can tear a team apart. But that has not been the case with our guys. They're sticking together. We had 3 great practices in a row leading up to the Western Kentucky game. Our practices the last 2 days have been terrific. So I think our guys have the right mindset. They're hungry. They know we got an opportunity on Thursday to get back at Southern Miss. We took a shot with 1 second left at home against Southern Miss. A lot of contact there on that shot, and they didn't call it. We kind of felt like we would have had a chance to win that game at the buzzer there with a couple free throws and didn't get it. So our guys are hungry for a little rematch there. But we just got to keep, stay together, keep getting better. I think we all are. We need the result.
Absolutely.
Real popular right now. People say trust the process, and I think our players are. But at some point, you got to see the result, get the win to reinforce everything you're doing, and hopefully we can get that on Thursday night.
Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck Thursday and Saturday, and we'll talk to you Wednesday right before you get ready for UAB here at home.
That sounds great. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Coach Henson. As Coach Steve Henson of the UTSA Roadrunners. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in for coaches and players. Again, they've injuries, COVID. You lost two great scorers last season. When you lose that much offense, again, it's easy to not watch the games and then just look at the record and make an opinion. But if like Coach said, if you look at some of these games, they're in a lot of these games, but then there's also, like he just mentioned, they lost Ivy Curry, their leading scorer. They probably won't have him again tomorrow night. And it's just a lot to juggle for a lot of teams, especially when you're already shorthanded. And then you factor in COVID, you factor in injuries, you factor in guys that have left for the G League or NBA or wherever they've gone, or just, it's a lot that's gone on. And for a school like UTSA, it takes a little bit to retool and get back to where you were headed.
I always think it's kind of crazy how college fans have this short-term expectations when in reality, the way that college sports kind of ran for the longest time was you would raise up a class and you would hope the class right behind them was just as good, but sometimes they're better than others. And in this age, if you have 2 or 3 bad seasons, there are fan bases that will call for the coach when really, I know, I went to Texas State. So like Everett Withers was only given 3 years, but he did only win, I think, like 2 games every season for those 3 years. So, it's sort of understandable, but what if that 4th year when he finally got one of his first full recruiting class to their junior season, they were able to knock off 6 wins. And then, that would probably warrant a 5th season. And what if those juniors were seniors and, he gets his system developed and those seniors play well their next year. But, I always say be patient when you're rebuilding, because when you lose, guys like Keaton Wallace, then it's hard to replace them. And moving forward, I think Coach Henson has what it takes to get the Roadrunners on the right track.
Absolutely. Well said, K-Dot. Again, here on R&R in the Morning, Rob had to step away, but it's all good. We're going to come back, put a bow. Is that what Rob says? Put a bow on this show. It's R&R in the Morning, ESPN SA Sports Star, AM 1250, and 103.3 FM. You can't get me. We'll be back.
Bet you could tell me when the last Spurs championship was, but can you name your congressman, sports, or politics? The answer is obvious. This is ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Jason Minix here for Garageization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Roll home with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. The ride home made easy. The Blitz, this afternoon at 4. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Hey, this is Michael Jimenez. Have lunch with me on halftime today at noon. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 103.3 FM.
Back here in R&R in the morning, and I misspoke. As a stupid, I'm sure Coach is like, dude, this guy's an idiot. If he's still listening, I had no idea. I just was under the assumption that all the teams made the conference tournament, but it's only the top 8. And you know they've had a rough go at it this year. Again, like Karl and I were talking about, when your best player quits right before conference starts for whatever reason. I'm sure he has his reasons. I'm not bashing the kid, but I was just under the impression that they all made the conference tournament. But it's only the top 8, and if you've looked at the record, they're not going to be in the top 8, even if they win out these last 5 games. So my apologies to the listener and Coach Henson on that one. I'm sure he was like, what, dude? We ain't getting ready for no conference tournament.
It might actually be mathematically possible if they win out.
Yeah.
But, that's still a tough uphill battle to climb.
Yeah, it's a tough battle. And that's why he followed up with, well, if you watch, so. But shout out to the Roadrunners. And again, like what we're talking about, the charter and all those things, and going into the AAC and dealing with recruiting and dealing with NIL, it's all, and then a building that you're playing in a building that you probably needs to be playing in something that looks better. It's a tough battle for him. And the kids that have, decided to go there. But there are some things that they need to clean up on the that are above him. There's some things they need to clean up over there. And one of them is getting them a much, much better place to play their home games. You can't even take a recruit into that, the famous
the historic convocation center.
Yeah, the historic convocation center. Like I wouldn't even take anybody there. So it's an uphill battle for Coach Henson for sure.
They're getting a new training facility out at Park West Athletic Complex, which is where the new baseball and softball fields are going to be during the master plan. That's currently where the track and field and the soccer field venue is. So that's, I think, just one exit up on 1604. I can't wait until that vision is realized, because it's in the works. It's just that, like you say, air fryer society. We want it now. Build it now.
No, it takes
You're gonna
time
have installation
to build
issues if you don't. It'll be cold in there.
It takes some time to build something that nice. So, but rough season, but it happens. It happens, and I'm sure they'll be better for it going forward into next season. What you got next? You got some softball coming up, don't you?
I have UTSA softball this evening.
Where at?
Well, it's at the softball field. I actually have never been to their softball field, so I'm getting there extra early to make sure I don't get lost. And they're playing Wisconsin Green Bay. They were in Houston this weekend to play Tech and U of H twice. They played 4 games there, and then they went to Huntsville and met up with one of the Dakotas. I don't know how to differentiate.
Huntsville,
Huntsville,
jail, state jail, Huntsville.
Probably Sam Houston State to be more accurate.
There we go.
Not the jail, but
I know.
Probably at Sam's field. The softball tournament season is all tournaments at the beginning of the year, and then it's all these northern teams. Same thing goes for baseball, coming down to the south to play in baseball weather, because the baseball season starts with UTSA hosting Seattle U, and Seattle's probably a terrible place to have a baseball team without a dome anyway.
Dude, all it does is rain.
Yeah, exactly. But they're coming down to start their season off, and you see that where Washington teams make their way down to Texas and spend a few weeks here.
I'll be interested tomorrow when you come in to find out if most of our gals on the UTSA softball team are from here. I'm going to ask you now. I mean, Coach, you just getting acclimated, but I guess that's something from
San Antonio or Texas in general?
San Antonio.
Okay. I know.
Keep an eye out for
I
that
have
for
a few
me.
off the top of my head. I want to say most of them are within this I-35 corridor than you would think, but I don't know the actual percentage. I will do that research later today.
And when is the next Austin Spurs game for you?
So March 1st is the next one.
That's a March 1st?
Yeah, they start a 4-game road swing right now in Salt Lake City, and then they play back-to-back games in Memphis, and I'm blanking on where they are right after that, but then they come back March 1st. And then March 8th, they play Agua Caliente with Keaton Wallace, hopefully, here at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. So, yeah.
In San Antonio?
Yep. They do, obviously not last year, but they do a game at the AT&T Center every year.
That's good for you. Well, actually, Austin's, I'm going to put out your business on where exactly you live, but Austin's not that bad for a trip for you.
I mean, I have to drive 3 hours round trip if I'm coming back here for the morning show.
Oh.
So yeah, like the other night, my parents live in North Austin, so the game's at Cedar Park, which is northwest Austin, and then it's doable, but it is about 3 hours round trip if I leave and come back the same day. And it's not too bad. Cool. I love doing it because I've been watching the Austin Spurs since they were the Toros playing in the convention center in downtown Austin.
But if you didn't have the morning show, you could just crash at your parents and then come home like fresh. Once traffic is dead. Like, yeah, okay, Mom, I'll leave about 10. Traffic's died down a bit. So
pretty much.
I feel you. Yeah, but I didn't know they played a game here in San Antonio. So that's pretty cool too. Heck of a show, man. Thank you to Carolina Teague. Thank you to Doc Garrett. Thank you to Coach Henson. Thank you to Karl, Rob, me. Fun show today. Hump Day's gone. I'm going to be on halftime today. I cannot remember for the life of me what movie he's reviewing today. He wanted me to watch The Truman Show.
Did you?
No, I didn't get a chance to. And I texted him this morning like, hey man, I didn't watch Truman Show, so don't tease it.
So
he didn't seem too happy about it.
So I actually watched Coming to America for the first time this past weekend.
What'd you give it?
Well, A+ for sure. Okay. Eddie Murphy is hilarious. I see why I didn't watch it in like the 90s and 2000s when I was too young. Like the first couple scenes pretty much said, okay, you're not going to be a good parent if you're showing that to your 5-year-old.
Were you talking about him getting bathed?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you want to be watching that at 9 years old. So shout out to the Shonix for not showing him that when he's 8 years old. How much time we got, Karl? 20 seconds. We got 20 seconds. Heck of a show. Hope to see y'all tomorrow morning. Don't forget Michael Jimenez halftime at 12. Jason and Joe at 4. Full local lineup, best lineup in the city. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN SA, 1250 AM and 103.3 FM. Holla.
The Super Bowl is over, and you're thinking, crap, I got to